Hello, 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 hello. Welcome to the True Mouse Games YouTube channel and welcome to our 7-day, 7 games event. This is day 2. We have played Carcosa, a weird fantasy sci-fi horror mix yesterday. Only one player died. Player character, of course, died. 3 survived. Tonight we are playing Symbaroum, the dark fantasy RPG by the Swedish role-playing producer Järnringen. I have ran quite a few Symbaroum games on my channel already, so a lot of my veteran viewers, so to speak, will already be familiar with the game system. For those of you who are not familiar with Symbaroum, we really don't have the capacities to go into rules and setting and such too deeply. However, if you look to my channel, there is a Symbaroum playlist, and it has videos that do a quick explanation of the rules, of the setting, and of character creation. So go watch that if you're interested. Just really basically, the rule system is a d20 roll under system. So our player characters have attributes between 5 and 15 usually, and they have to roll equal to or less than that attribute on a d20 to succeed. Everything else we'll discover in the game. Tonight's one-shot is called Dying of the Light, and it is set, at least initially, in the small town of Caros Fen, which is about a town of about maybe 700 to 800 people, and it lies about 1 day's journey within the borders of Davokar, this ancient forest filled with ruins and remnants of the old civilization of Symbaroum, and also the remnants of whatever evil has brought down this once mighty civilization. Caros Fen is a fairly safe place despite lying within this dark and dangerous forest, for there is a vested interest both for the revered barbarians, the dominating barbarian tribe in this area, and the civilized Ambrians to keep this area safe, because Caros Fen lies not only on the Doudram River, which is a very large river and heavily used for trade, and also lies on the edge of the so-called Fire Fen, which is a swamp area. And in that swamp, mostly Ambrians, but also the barbarian workers and such, find very rare minerals and plants that can be made in all kinds of alchemical potions and elixirs, and are therefore sold for quite a lot of money. This town itself is a mixture of Ambrians and barbarians, and also some free settlers, which belong to neither of the two groups. And our player characters have been staying in the town for a couple of weeks as such. As our adventure begins, our player characters have been sought out by a brother, a monk named Brother Pelio, a young, nervous-looking fella, an Ambrian, who is a novice, a monk of the Church of Prios, the sun god, the one god above all, whose light shines and pierces every shadow, and whose mercy and glory protects the realm of Ambria and all Ambrians within, and quite a few barbarians who have been converted. And this monk, Pelio, tells you that you have been summoned at the behest of his superior, Father Jeddoro. Now, you have heard of Father Jeddoro. He is a hero of the Great War that happened 20 years ago, when what was today the Ambrians were living in a different realm and fought against the hordes of the undead, and then traveled north after their own land was destroyed, here, where they are now. And he was also a treasure hunter after the war. But a few years ago, he found the light. He was accepted into the Church of Prios, and despite never claiming to have any mystical powers, as so many of the Theurgs of the clergy of Prios do, powers to heal and to summon blinding light and destructive fire to cleanse the foul abominations and undead creatures that walk the earth. So he does not have these powers, but nonetheless, he is fairly famous in the city of Caros Fen, and he has done many good deeds within the city, and is, as I said, fairly well liked by the people. You have heard of his reputation. You have not met Father Jeddoro himself yet, but you are about to. And Brother Pelio says that Father Jeddoro lies dying. He has been struck by some sort of disease, and he probably doesn't have much time left. And he has asked for you by name, which surprises you because you do not know this man, and you do not know how he would know of you. But he seems to, and he has summoned you to his sick bed, basically. As we jump into this adventure, none of the player characters know each other, so you're sort of awkwardly standing in the living room of Father Jeddoro's home, which is a fairly large building, but not particularly richly decorated. While he does own a large home, he doesn't seem to spend a lot of money on fancy furniture and such. Brother Pelio has offered you water and a few snacks, basically, and has hurried off to look after his superior. And you expect him to come back any minute and summon you into the presence of the sick Theurgs, the sick priest, Father Jeddoro. Now, as always in my one-shots, I'll give our player characters the chance to introduce themselves a little bit. We have an ogre, an Ambrian, and 2 changelings tonight. If you guys, especially our 2 changelings, want to say that you already know each other a little bit, that's fine with me. That's up to you guys. So we'll just start with Luke, who is playing our Ambrian tonight. So go ahead, Luke, and introduce your character that you will be playing tonight to us. And those of you who have seen most of my Symbaroum games might actually recognize this character, for he has already been part of one of our adventures before. He has leveled up now, though, and is even stronger and more valorous than he before.
All right, so Damien, he's standing there leaning on his broadsword. He's about 6'3", 200 pounds. He's a pretty broad, wide-shouldered guy, muscular. He's got blonde, short-cut hair, blue eyes, beard, and a mustache. He's standing there looking at the father on the bed, kind of curious. How do you know my name? What, why am I here? Just sitting there staring at him.
All right, and that is Damien the Knight. All right, moving over to Lionel, who's playing our ogre for the evening. A very small ogre. I mean, still taller than most people, but there's actually humans that are taller than this character. So there's, for instance, Luke's character, Damien, is not that much smaller than the ogre. Anyway, go ahead, Lionel.
So Brian is standing at the windows, looking outside. He's rather small ogre, bald with narrow and white eyes. He's wielding a great double axe, and under his rather loose white clothes you can see leather armor.
All right, excellent. And that is Bragon, the ogre. Let's move over to David, who I believe is playing Fels, right?
Fels Carter, yes.
Excellent.
So Fels Carter is a changeling who tends to have a serious demeanor all the time. Been scarred from previous adventures and outings out into this dangerous woods. This is not the person's first adventure, nor hopefully their last. Always very vigilant of their surroundings. This character is quite odd because definitely looks like an elf, but also not. Definitely hides the fact that they're a changeling from most human beings. Wearing something over their ears to kind of hide the tips of the ears, but unfortunately, as much as this person tries to hide who they are also shines very brightly because the eyes give everything away. With a light, just a dim red that kind of is the eye color of this person is just impossible to be called human. So a lot of times you'll notice that this character, Fels Carter, diverts their eyes from yours, almost never directly looking at yours. Also a very strong person, sits up straight, gray, kind of almost a grayish tint to the skin. with the veins, when you see just like a moment of intensity, a little bit of red or purple in the veins flashes, just kind of flashes out like tides more. But in a more calm setting, such as this house that we've been invited to, there is no weapon on Stealth at this time. Only a dagger at the hip and worn trout boots made for traveling, a good sturdy cloak, very basic traveler's clothes, but also very utilitarian. And once again, this character looks around, maybe a bit too serious for his own good, uncomfortable in almost any given situation, but always with just a hint of curiosity. And that would be Fels.
Excellent. And that is Fels, the first changeling in the group. Moving over to the second changeling, our wizard of the night, Aki, played by Brandon. So go ahead, Brandon, give us a quick introduction.
So Aki is the changeling. Aki is a changeling with like silver hair and a red robe, and he's leaning up against a wall and just like eyeing everybody curiously, wondering why he's here.
Excellent. And as you're staring at each other and staring
it should be moving.
Interior, you can see the door opening, and down from this, you can see a staircase leading up into the first floor of the, or second floor if you're American, of the room, of the building. And you can see this young man, Brother Pelio, sort of tall, thin, with a very closely cropped hair, only a couple millimeters long, really, dressed in this white, very simple white robe. He's a bit of a nervous, hesitant fella, and he sort of looks into the room, says, good, you're still here, good. Please, Father Jeddoro, he is strong enough to speak with you for a moment, but try not to excite him too much. It's not good for his health. You will see yourselves. Please, come. And he goes up the stairs, leaving the door open behind him.
I follow with cautious steps.
You walk up this wooden staircase, and you come into this very large room with a glass door that leads out onto a balcony. However, the glass door is mostly covered by a very thick brown sort of leathery curtain that lets very little room into the room itself, very little light into the room itself. It is, by the way, fairly early morning. You have been summoned last night and have arrived in the morning, basically. So the sun has just risen. And you can see the room is mostly empty, except for a large wardrobe that has seen better days in a corner, and a massive double bed standing in the center of the room. The double bed is occupied by just one person, a man, who is sort of sitting up, propped with several large pillows and clutching with slightly shaking hands, clutching a blanket, sort of clutching it and pulling it up nearly to his chin. He looks not to be particularly old, maybe in his mid-40s or so, but whatever disease or affliction has befallen him makes him look much older. He's very, very thin, gaunt, nearly. You can basically see the bones of his face as the skin is stretched tight above it. He has a little bit of a patchy beard that hasn't been shaven in a while. He has dark, dark circles under his eyes, which are bloodshot, and there are his veins sort of pulsing under his skin, and his hair seems to have been fallen out in patches. So there's just a little bit of hair here and there left, sort of hanging down the side of his head. And he is looking at you, and you see one side, one hand, on his right ring finger, he wears a golden ring with the symbol of the sun, the symbol of the Church of Prios. He looks at you, his eyes darting in between you with a fierce intensity, maybe the fever or whatever he seems to experience. There's something about him that tells you that he's not all there mentally at the moment. He's certainly in the grips of some sort of maybe medication that has been given to him, or maybe it's just the disease or the affliction itself. A few seconds pass, and you can hear him breathe. in and out a couple times. He rubs his eye, his right one, his hands shaking a little more, and he says, "Welcome. Thank you for coming. Thank you. I am Jeddoro. I'm sure you must have heard of me. Yes. You must be wondering why I summoned you. Yes. Well, I saw you in a vision as my last hour is approaching. Our Heavenly Father in the sky has seen me fit to receive his minor blessing. I saw you as the people who can help me. Not help me survive this, for there is no power in this world that can help me survive this. And you can see Brother Pelio comes up and starts sort of wiping Father Jeddoro's mouth and lips with a sort of a handkerchief. And as he retreats, you can see spots of blood on the cloth. Forgive me. Now, as you can see, I have seen better days, and I'm afraid I do not have much time left. But there is one thing I wish to do before I die. I never had children myself, never had children. But my late brother Elsaro, he had a son, a boy, my nephew, a boy by the name of Cario. He lived with his mother, a terrible woman, member of the barbarian tribes, the Voivod tribe. About a day's journey from here, in a small village to the west, a logging settlement. I was hoping I could see the boy one last time before I die. I have not seen him in several years now, ever since my late brother left this world and crossed over into the domain of Prios and his undying light. Oh, now, the journey might be dangerous, but I am able to afford I am able to afford to pay you. It should only be a 2 days trip for you. 1 day there, 1 day back. I am willing to pay you 5 thaler each. I'm sure that is a fair compensation for 2 days of work, even though it might be slightly dangerous. Brother Pelio, who looks alarmed, clearly, sort of steps in once more with the handkerchief, but Father Jeddoro, with a little bit of strength left, sort of pushes him aside a bit and says, "Now, what say you? Will you help a sick man?"
Bells Carter steps in at this time, taking the head wrap that is around his head, wrapping around his mouth and nose, as he's not 100% sure of what the exact ailment is, and a little fearful, honestly, of contraction.
Yeah, you
kind of leads in.
As you step in, you can smell the sick one. There's a quite a strong stench of sweat, but also something else, something nearly like some sort of herb, some sweetish, but sort of cloggingly sweetish smell, not pleasant at all, nearly like decay in some ways, but not quite.
As my experience as an alchemist, would I have recognized these herbs in my travels?
It's hard to say. Give me a cunning check. So roll d20, and I don't know what your cunning is. You're trying to roll equal or less.
I succeeded.
Okay. You're looking at the man. He looks old, but he isn't really. It might be you have heard of a plague, a disease called black lung fever. which is very similar to this, like the bloodshot eyes, the coughing, the blood that comes out of his lips, and the loss of weight, obviously. But some things doesn't quite fit. Black lung fever is usually accompanied by like basically unconsciousness. Like in the later stages, there's no way anyone could be awake to have a conversation, basically. No, so maybe something similar? You're not sure.
I do accept your offer, but I must ask, when did you become sick? I do apologize.
Sorry, you're a bit quiet. You might have to speak up a bit.
Oh, apologize. So Fells leans in and asks the gentleman, I do apologize. You are quite sick, and I'm not sure if I can help you at this time, but where did you first come sick? And if so, I just want to make sure that nobody else will be in the same predicament as you.
No, this is... Don't worry. This is... although he does sort of push you back, not like actively push you back, just sort of make a gesture for you to step back a bit and says, this is not... I don't think... I have... Starts coughing again. Brother Pelio steps in and sort of quietly says, we have consulted several doctors and apothecaries. I'm afraid there is no way to help. Father Jeddoro, he looks down onto the ground. It is not contagious. I have been taking care of him for 2 weeks now. While he has taken a turn for the worse in recent days, I am perfectly healthy, as you can see. But we have not summoned you here for your expertise in herbal matters, but for your other skills. Yes, Brother Pelio speaks truth. Now, I don't believe you have given me an answer. What say you?
I take off my wrappings that I had around my face as in trust of what the good gentleman had told me, and I accept and take a step back and look at my comrades, my fellow adventurers.
You see Damon the whole time that Father Jeddoro is talking. He's kind of looking down, shaking his head, as if it's like seeing a hero that he's heard of, like in a sickened state, someone he idolizes is not as strong as he thought. He kind of doesn't want to accept it, and he eventually looks up, a little bit teary-eyed, says, I accept, Father. And then just nods and puts his head back down.
Thank you.
Aki stays against the wall. Just, I will go too, as he looks to the others.
And Bragan, who stood stoic next to Brother the bed, just said, and you have my axe.
Well, let's hope you don't need it. Well then, Brother Pelio, we'll see that you are paid. Brother Pelio says, we offer you 1 thaler now, the other 4 when you return with the boy. I believe that is fair, yes?
I accept your offer. By any chance, does your nephew look like you? Is there any other indication?
Well, he's I have not seen him in several years. He must be about 12 now. Last time I saw him, or maybe 13. Last time I saw him, he was 6 or 7. It is hard for me to tell you what he looks like. Really, he is a boy. He is blonde, light-eyed, and fairly fair of skin. That is really all I can tell you.
Did you maybe have a token of who you are, so we have proof that we actually came from you?
I am afraid
A letter?
I considered doing this, but I'm afraid that might not help you much. You see, his mother and I, we are not on the best of terms. His mother is a stubborn woman, is Eleonora. She is a barbarian, a full-blooded one. She does not trust in the teachings of the one above all, the God of the sun, whose rays shine down on all of us. She's not happy. You see, she might not be willing to let the boy travel to see me. But surely the boy, if you tell them of my, well, if you tell them that I only have a few days or weeks at the most left, surely at least the boy, at least Cario, in the memory of his father, my brother, and the time we have spent together when he was a child, surely he will want to come with you. And you can
We
see
will try.
a bit stronger now as he's speaking of this. This is clearly not a subject he is very, very happy to speak about. Brother Pellia steps forward and says, Father, you need to rest. I will deal with these gentlemen, whatever they require. You rest. And yeah, Father Jeddoro sinks back and says, thank you. May the sun follow you on your paths, and may Prios bless you. His blessing be upon you. And he sort of descends into a coughing fit as Brother Pellia slowly pushes you out of the room, basically. And he says, wait downstairs, I'll be with you in a moment, and closes the door. And you can just hear coughing, basically.
I make my way downstairs, find like a chair or something.
Yep.
Just wait.
All right.
I would like to see if there's any kind of like, is there any symbols, family heirlooms, anything like that on the wall? I know you said it's a very plain establishment. Just I'm looking for
looking around. Give me a vigilance check. As you're looking around the living room, basically.
Just barely passed.
Okay. So what you do realize is that there's several spots where things have been standing, some sort of items, you're not sure. You figure that maybe they sold parts of this, like the furniture and some trinkets and such that were here. There's nothing really, I'm afraid, that indicates anything special. There's a few simple, like sun disk shaped symbols with the rays of Prios, but that's nothing you couldn't buy at a market, basically. Nothing catches your eye that specifically says this is from Father Jeddoro. And then after a few minutes, Brother Pellia comes down and says, thank you for helping. Here's your money. And he produces a small pouch and puts 4 golden coins, 4 thaler, on the table in front of you. If you were ready, I suggest you set out immediately. You have seen Father Jeddoro is not well. We don't know how long he has left. So the quicker the boy comes back, the more likely that, well, you know what I mean. But don't worry, you will be paid either way. We're not trying to cheat you.
I look at the nice gentleman, and I'm like, I very much accept your offer, but if the boy does not wish to come with, I will not force him to. I will not take him from his home. He wants.
I understand, but please understand, Father Jeddoro, as you have seen, he's dying, and it would be a small thing for the boy to make this journey, especially accompanied by such able-handed men like you. for Father Jeddoro, it might be the last good that anyone can do in this world. It is important to me and to him. We are prepared to pay 1 or 2 thaler more if necessary.
You see Damon kind of step forward and like push the others aside, and he puts his hand on Pelio's shoulder. By Prios, it will be done, I swear.
Thank you.
Just kind of gives him like an assuring pat.
Yeah, you can. He looks visibly relieved and gives you a small like smile and says, "Thank you."
Bell looks at this swordsman and almost with a bit of not contempt, but very much wariness. Like what else is this man willing to do in the name of Prius? I mean, I'm not going to steal a child, but would he steal a child under the name of Prius?
Yeah, stealing children is kind of like a sore topic with changelings, isn't it?
Oh, just a wee bit.
Okay. And yeah, Pelio basically says, is there anything else you need? We can't provide you horses, I'm afraid. But if there's anything else you might need.
Do you have a map or general guidelines of where we're going?
It is not difficult. There's only one path leading into Davakar to the west, into the forest. There's only 2 logging settlements on this path. You will reach the first one after about 3 hours. And the second one, the further one, where Cario and his mother are to be found, another 5 or 6 hours down the path. If you set out now, you should be able to make it with a good hour or 2 to spare before nightfall.
I look to the others like, then we have no time to waste. We need to get out of here.
Good. I suppose if everything goes well, I'll see you tomorrow evening. Please hurry if you can.
I start making my way outside, like waiting for the others to gather.
Okay.
And Damien heads out and gives one more like assuring nod to Pelio.
Okay. He nods back. Looks quite nervous, but also revealed as you all step outside and you basically gather on the street in front of the house now.
Bellsgarter also has his belongings that were outside and not inside. And now you notice that he's got a large travel pack full of gear and a long spear in the hand. And as he starts making his way, you start realizing that he's carrying not just generic traveling gear, but also traps and many other little trinkets with him.
Damon might be the only one in the group, but of course.
You might want to rejoin the hangout real quick. Sometimes the audio goes off. So the knight just disappears in the side alley for a moment.
Bragan equipment is lightweight. He doesn't have much. He always carries it in a bag hauled by his battle axe.
Yeah, you have like a large barbarian battle axe. Typical weapon of a clan warrior, really.
Does this clanman have any like tattoos or markings of note?
No. My weapon is typical of the clansman. I'm quite odd for my race.
All right, so you're gathered outside. It is maybe about an hour after the sunrise. What do you wish to do?
Okay. Frankly, my character trusts the other changelings just because of shared circumstances. And perhaps the ogre as well, as a bit of a pariah in society. I can understand that. But Damien, once again, my character just a few steps back, probably like 6 to 10 steps back at all times, watching closely, maybe even a little bit uncomfortably.
Yeah, I was gonna say Damien might be the only one with a horse in the group, and he is riding it. And as he rides it, you notice he has an emblem of a raven on his armor, like throughout his armor. So he definitely has a coat of arms and some sort of knight, some sort of nobility.
All right, so you guys want to set out straight up, or is there anything you want to do in Karos Fen before you leave? Any last-minute provisions or anything you would like to buy?
I look to the others and ask if we should secure some horses or if they prefer to travel by foot.
foot. By foot is good for me.
I would like to procure a horse, but I am too poor, I say, and hence the reason why I'm taking this job.
Yes, horses are quite expensive, especially here in the forest. They are a rare commodity here.
But if possible, I would also like to go around anybody in this village asking about if the road has been rumored to be safely traveled of late, or if there's been some happenings that are of note.
The Western Road, you mean?
Yes.
Yeah, sure. Yeah, you spend about 10 minutes asking around. There's plenty of people on the road, and you don't, like, basically what people tell you is the Western Road is not very often traveled, but it's mostly safe as far as they know. Most of the travel is by river on the Dodram, which flows basically through the settlement. It's a massive river, and there's a lot of boats going up and down the river every single day. There's not as much travel by road, and basically the Western Road is only, because it only leads to those logging settlements. The only people who do travel there are occasional hunters and woodsmen and some Queen's Rangers every now and then to patrol the road, but not very often. And the inhabitants of those logging settlements themselves, and the occasional like peddler or merchant who might be visiting them. So that it's by no means it is a heavily traveled road.
Well, my character would start making out as soon as possible. I presume, of course, traveling a group is much safer than traveling alone. But does anybody else have any friends or guides or anybody that know that has traveled this road before?
I just shake my head. I don't know anybody from this area. I have no contacts.
I guess we follow the one with the bright bird. We surely can't lose him this war.
All right. So you leave Caros Fen behind, passing through the palisade that protects the settlement, with the guards on top, crossbows and spears, who are staring out into that car, and cross this little zone of there's a few fields basically around the settlement, and then the dark and deep forest starts about 200 yards away from the walls. The Western Road is not a very wide road, just wide enough for like a small wagon basically to travel on it. It's a dirt road, but it does look mostly well made and not too heavily damaged. Like you don't see any like thick roots protruding from the soil, no trees or like pieces of wood fallen onto the road and such. So this road seems to be kept clear, at least occasionally. So there's definitely some travel going on. In fact, you do even see, because it's been raining for the last couple of days a little bit, there's a bit of mud, and you see what looks to be the wagon wheels, a fairly fresh trail, maybe set out sometime yesterday or so, from what you can see. So there's definitely someone been here.
Now, would we be able to tell if it's coming to the town we were coming from or going towards our destination?
You're not sure. None of you is very proficient with bushcraft. You think it's going, because the horse's hoofs, which is pulling the wagon, you can sort of make them out. You think it's going into the forest, like it's going the same way that you're going, but you're not 100% sure. There's also some like footprints here and there, but you're not sure if they're like just local people wandering around or people actually going all the way or not. But as I said, for now, the road is clear. It is also a day without rain, from what you can tell. There is a little bit of sunlight. There's clouds as well, but they don't look like rain clouds. They're white and puffy and quite idyllic, really, in some ways. The forest, of course, is anything but. You all know Davokar. You have experienced it, at least on one or two occasions. And for three of you, it is basically your birthplace in some ways, even though you don't really remember much. So it's always a bit of a homecoming for three of you, but it's not a good home to come back to. It's a home that fills you with a slight edge as you know what kind of danger can lie within this forest. But as you also know, this area is relatively safe. It's very rare that there's any attacks in the immediate vicinity of Karoswen. Now, once you get a couple hours away, this might change, or it might not. You're not certain. Is there any specific formation you want to travel at?
Damon would probably be in the front on his horse, at the very least.
Yeah. Of course, yeah.
I don't know exactly how traveling works, but with the skill of alchemy, being able to like gather herbs or minerals.
You could do that. However, it would slow you down, and therefore the group.
Okay.
So depending on, you could risk it, but as I said, as you have been told, it will take you the better part of the day to get to the logging encampment, the second one anyway. And if you slow down the group too much, you might not make it before dark. And spending the night in the forest is not fun.
Right.
But that's what. And the rest of the group, of course. I mean, they could just let you fall behind, basically.
Well, I know you said we were in the area for a couple of weeks before we met our contact.
Yes.
Would I maybe have found anything in that time period, or is that like just part of our starting equipment?
Yeah, basically, you would have probably found some stuff, but you've already created things and maybe sold them. That's why you got the 50 thaler extra gold, basically, for starting equipment. So whatever you might have had made over the last couple of weeks here was included in that. But you know the area, sort of, at least around a fair bit, a little bit anyway, because you've been searching for herbs and such. However, the fen that I was talking about, the fire fen, that's to the east. So you're moving away from that. And that's where the most interesting herbs are to be found. So you've been mostly wandering around the eastern side of the river, while as you're now on the western side.
During our walk, I'll be particularly aware of any trace of beast, of game that we could cross.
You have some sort of beast lore, right, or something like that? All right.
Yes.
Give me a vigilance check. So roll a
vigilance
under or equal.
That's a fail.
Okay. Looking around, there's not much tracks you can pick up. No. This is a fairly large settlement, so you figure most of the animals would be kept away, or maybe even killed by the hunters and such afterwards. Yeah. After all, 800 people do need food.
Yeah, it's something I will more or less keep up all the way.
Certainly. All right. So you travel for a bit, keeping an eye out with Demian up ahead on his horse, the rest hanging behind a bit. And after about 3 hours or so of travel, so not quite noon, but close to it, you come to a small logging encampment, about maybe 15 or so huts surrounded by a fairly tall wooden wall. The gate, as it is open, and you can see several small groups of like 3 or 4 men cutting down trees around, and a lot of trees have already been cut down. There's quite a large clearing, sort of slowly spreading, and there's teams of oxen standing at the ready to pull the basically the chopped down trees away, and the other men are climbing around the fallen trees and chopping off branches and such. As you are approaching, a couple of them look in your direction and keep an eye on you, but none of them look too hostile or too sort of mistrustful. Travelers don't seem to be that special here.
Damon will give a friendly wave to them with a smile.
Yeah, a couple of them nod back. They are mostly, from what you can tell, barbarians. Well, mostly probably Voivod barbarians from the dominant clan here. But yeah, as I said, they give you a nod back. There's a little bit of tension here in the area between the Voivods and the Ambrians, but it's not too terrible at the moment. So there hasn't been any open hostilities. It's just a bit of sort of looking at each other with, just awareness, basically.
By this time of traveling, most of the group probably would have noticed my character doesn't move side to side very often. It's very odd. very stiff, calculated movement. But as my character turns, like slowly, kind of looking around this encampment, is there anything that seems to be off about the place at all?
You don't know much about logging encampments, but it looks fairly normal to you. There's the men are armed. There's a few women, but most of them are men. And yeah, you would expect them to be armed, for this is Devakar after all. A couple of them are standing guard. Most of them are working. Nothing that really sticks out.
My character would keep moving through politely and out of the way of any of the lockers. But once again, just kind of looking around us.
You as changelings definitely get some sort of dark looks. Changelings are not particularly well liked in these parts, or most parts really, of the land. But there's no open hostility, at least. And you can cross by the encampment without any issues. The road sort of curls around a bit and then continues further west.
So this local barbarian tribe, do they look any different than Ambrians to changelings' eyes?
Yes, they look very distinctively different. Ambrians are generally more light-skinned and sort of light-haired, not always, but sometimes. The Vivod are large. They are often tattooed, which Ambrians don't do that often. And then they have very long hair and beard, whereas most Ambrian men, well, Ambrian men can have long hair regularly. They rarely have long beards. It's a sign of basically civilization to be able to shave and have a mostly unshaven face. The Vivods have these bushy, sometimes dark, sometimes sort of reddish beards with several sort of braids, nearly dwarf-like in some ways. So they're quite distinctively different. Yes. All right.
Do I notice if anybody's following us while we go?
Yeah, you look back a couple times, but no one is. Not on the road anyway. In the forest, anything could be hiding, really. You continue on your journey and travel for another 2-3 hours, maybe. Have maybe a short rest to have some food on the road, and continue following the road. And at around mid-afternoon, about maybe 3 o'clock or so, so you estimate you must still need about 2 to 3 hours to get to this second logging encampment. You see in front of you, just as the road curls around what looks to be like a small hill, heavily wooded within Devakar itself, you see a wagon standing, like a small wooden wagon pulled by a single horse, standing on the road. And there's what looks to be some sort of merchant, an older man, and 2 younger men armed with spears standing next to the wagon. And in front of the wagon is a group of Vivod barbarians, 5 of them, spotting these just mentioned black beards and long hair, and they're all clutching axes, and they're all dressed in what looks to be like sort of pelts, pelt armor. They look a little more barbaric as such than the ones that you have just seen a couple hours ago, and they're sort of spread across the road, nearly like a barrier. And you can hear, as you're approaching, the merchant's shrill voice saying, "This is preposterous! I've been traveling this route for 5 years now, and I know how to take care of myself. You don't have the authority to stop us here." And you can hear the leader of the barbarians, a big fella with a sort of a scar across his above his left eye, mumble something in return, although you're too far away to really hear what he's saying. And the merchant sort of throws his hands up in the air and sits down in his wagon and starts talking to these 2 spearmen, his bodyguards or something, that are standing next to the wagon. None of them have seen you yet from the looks of it, as you've sort of stopped just around the corner and are looking out over this scene, which is about maybe 50 yards or so away from you.
Never mind. I don't think this is our fight. What do you think?
Damon kind of turns back to you and nods. Yes, if we can avoid this, that would be better. But if violence is to happen, be ready.
Violence? No. We're here to fetch a boy, not get into squabbles and holes of merchant.
Indeed, but I'm not going to let anyone die for no reason, especially if they're getting robbed up there. And if they try to attack us if we pass, we have to defend ourselves. That's simple.
I agree with the defending part.
Bragan just shifts the weight of his axe.
While you're talking, you can see the merchant is slowly turning his cart, his small wagon around. It takes a bit because the road is fairly narrow, but he manages to. And the two spearmen walking next to him, he is traveling back in your direction.
As Damon will ride, like not sprint ahead of the group, but once they catch up to him, he'll kind of like give him a hand, like, what happened up there?
The merchant looks at you and says, so you see like a blonde man with a fine mustache and not particularly well dressed. This is clearly not a rich merchant as such. And the two men look more like they look enough like him that you would figure they must be related, maybe his sons or like nephews or something. And they sort of both look a bit nervous as they see you and surprised as they see this heavily armored knight really all of a sudden coming towards them on his horse. And the merchant says, sir, I am surprised to see a knight of your caliber in this area. Forgive me. My name is Serlo. Is there anything you need?
No, sir. We're just trying to get to the city up ahead. I'm sure you've heard of Father Jeddoro before.
Yes, of course. The priest from Karos Fen. I've heard of him.
Yes, he's fallen ill. He wishes to see his nephew in his twilight days. And he kind of says that kind of low and respectfully.
That is grim news. I have seen the father. He preaches with quite a bit of fire. So he's fallen ill, you say? That's
indeed.
I believe I have attended a sermon about 2 weeks ago. He seemed mostly fine from what I could tell.
Yes, well, we're here to retrieve his nephew, but the road seems to be blocked. What happened up ahead?
These savages, I am sure it is some sort of swindle. They probably expected me to give them money, but I am not going to. They said that there is some sort of abomination that's been attacking people in the area on the road up ahead, and they are blocking the road so that no one runs into this abomination. It's a clear lie, some sort of fabrication. There's no abominations of such danger this close to Karos Fen. The Queen's Rangers would have hunted such a beast down long ago. They don't have the authority to block the road.
Well, there really is no true authority in these parts, is there, sir?
Well, I suppose. Still, these Wywards have been getting so full of themselves recently. If you ask me, this area would profit from some good old-fashioned Ambrian influence.
You see, Damon kind of shakes his head. I'll see if I can talk to them.
Be careful, they are quite primitive, if you catch my meaning.
Damon doesn't really say anything to that. He just kind of frowns and nods his head. Have a good day, sir. He keeps going.
If you, he sort of looks after you as you keep going. He sort of calls out, if you manage to clear the road, let me know, please. I'd like to continue my journey to the log encampment to sell my wares.
Damon turns and gives a shit-eating grin. Sure, of course. And then keeps going.
Thank you. And he sort of stops the wagon and just waiting to see what's going on. And just sort of
I'll start following Damien up, but I'll hold back just a little bit and just keep an eye.
All right. What's the rest of you guys doing?
As soon as the merchant and the two guardsmen are coming by, I look at them and I'm like, if you come with us at the same time, our numbers would look almost double, and surely would be more, I don't want to say threatening or intimidating, but let's just say more persuasive
Yes,
with you
yes.
behind us immediately.
Uh,
But you could be accompanied by us as well as your 2 guards, I say.
Give me a persuasive roll. He seems to like the idea, but you sense that he doesn't look forward to any type of physical confrontation.
No.
So he's like, well, not a good idea, not a bad idea, my friend, but I am not a warrior myself, and my nephews, my sister would kill me if anything happened to them. We will stay right here and see if the knight can clear the path. This is very good at dealing with these savages.
Then surely you have some kind of compensation if we deal with the savages for you, so thus for allowing you to do business there.
Well, you are traveling on the same road. I believe you're just doing yourself a favor if you clear the road. I am just happen to be at the right place at the right time, yes?
I'm pretty sure that they're not going to care about us very much. There's a heavily armored knight. If you notice, a few of us are a bit different and used to these woods.
Well, let's see what happens, shall we? Okay, so Aki is sort of following, you said, right? You're following Damien a bit, but not like all the way. You're just hanging back. What about Bragan?
I'm with Aki because I want to try to negotiate.
Right. You're hanging back both a bit. So you see Aki, you see Damien as you are riding up. You see 5 of these fellas. They're sort of men, youngish men mostly, in sort of late teens, early 20s. The only one who's a little older is the leader, the one with the scar. He seems to be maybe about in his early 30s or so. They're like wearing fur armor, bear and wolf fur, definitely some sort of barbarian village warriors, basically. And they don't look extremely aggressive, but as you do approach, they do stand up once more. They've been sitting on like a log on the side of the road, and you can see a little bit of food just scattered around, and some like backpacks and some like sleeping bags in the back. And they sort of stand up and block the road once more, just standing next to each other across. And the leader steps up and sort of shoulders his axe, and he says, I'm sorry, you can't go through here. There's a danger up ahead. Abomination, big beast, been attacking people around these parts. We can't let you pass. It's for your own safety.
You see Damon, he jumps off his horse, takes off his helmet, and kind of walks up and smiles, goes, my friend, there's some sort of issue. I can help. My name's Damon. He comes up to greet him and shake his hand.
He looks down onto your hand and looks up to you. I'm Arak. But you've heard me, right? We can't let anyone through. It's too much danger up ahead.
My friend, I'm a knight. I can take care of myself. I can probably help clear your abomination. Now tell me, what type of abomination is it? I've seen many things in my travels. Maybe I could clear it for you.
I haven't seen it myself. I've just been ordered to block the road so that travelers don't get into too much danger. I believe the abomination is being taken care of. We've been only ordered to block the road here until about tomorrow noon or so.
Oh, well, I got important business. I need to be on my way. This whole time he's got the smile, trying to be very, very nice.
Right. Yeah, he does. The guy's a little disturbed by that.
Yeah, I need to be on my way as soon as possible. It's an important errand.
I'm afraid you'll have
listen, I'm sure we can work something out. Now, who gave you the order? I can probably talk to them and work something out. Some sort of agreement between my house and his or your people.
Listen, you can't talk to anyone because you can't pass. Is that?
Oh, why?
Yeah, I'm speaking your language well enough, right?
Well, the only reason I can't pass is because you won't let me. If you let
Exactly.
me through, I can solve your problem.
Sorry, I have my orders. None is about to pass before the abomination is taken care of, and that will take until tomorrow.
So I think the only abomination is the cowardice of man that I see ahead of me. Or
So
the lies
are you
of man.
walking up, or are you shouting that over?
I'm shouting that from like back behind. as I was behind, I'm still walking forward, but as I'm hearing this conversation over here, I kind of shout that in their direction.
Okay.
You see Damon like visibly sigh.
Is that one of yours? This thing up there?
Mm-hmm.
Strange
Kinda.
companions you have.
Look, it's circumstance. It's really important I get through. What do you want? Anything. Tell me what I need to do to get through this wall.
Listen, we've been told.
Yeah. You've been told.
There's
yes, I
nothing
understand.
I can do for you.
Of course there is. You can move.
No, that would be breaking my word. We have the Y-word. I don't know what it is with you Ambrians, but we have the Y-word. Once we give our word, once we've been paid to do something, we do that thing. We don't just talk about it and then break the promises we've made.
You see Damon kind of nod his head and smile. Fine then. I'll be back in a second. And he kind of jumps on his horse and backs up.
Okay.
Goes back to the group. This is not going to be done easily.
Nor are these men really blocking the road, I think, to save us from abomination. If they wanted to save us, they would leave one man here to warn, and then they would go out and hunt the abomination themselves.
They're also not asking for money or trying to hold us up for anything. I'm not sure what the end game is here. I can't get a read on it.
There could be a bigger prize that they're trying to keep people away from. And if that's the case, most likely there's a bigger group behind it.
Well, we have two options. We could try to get around them, or we can just charge through them.
I say we charge.
These woods, yes, they're dark and scary, but they hide many things, including our movements, and we would probably not garner as much. You know what? I'd rather just not get the ire of their people. Most likely, there's a group of them behind these people as well. And if their people are going to chase us down, we have a long.
Indeed, I'm trying to improve the relations between the Ambrians and these people, but bloodshed would not help.
Have you solved the issue, sir?
Again, he kind of turns and puts a smile on. We're working on it, my friend.
Right, so the savages don't want even you to let you, even you. They're barring the way even for you at night. Huh. The lip on these people.
Even with the promise of maybe killing of an abomination, they won't let you through, or would they? I didn't hear that part, Damien.
I asked if they would let me destroy it for them, and they said no, they were taking care of it. So clearly, either they don't believe I can help them, or they don't trust me, or it's not real.
I'm going with the latter.
I don't believe it's real either, and they want something. The question is what? And it's not for us just to go through, but they're wanting something that obviously they're trying to hide.
Indeed. They did not want money or anything, so there's something back there they don't want us to get to.
We don't have time to bicker and go through the forest. That'll slow us down. We need to go through.
Indeed, the forest would be slower.
Yeah, but how far in the forest do we need to go? Just enough to go around this blockade, whatever this
No
is.
need to charge, no need to sneak, I feel. They're scared of what? Of we dying?
I don't want to lose bloodshed over these men.
They say they want to protect us. We can protect ourselves.
Unfortunately, I don't think they believe us unless we actually show them. Maybe one-on-one combat, so that's where we're not risking the group as a whole. To show them our worth, to show them what we're worthy.
They're not trying to protect us from anything, and they're not stopping us for our safety. They're only stopping us because they don't want us to get over there. It's not about combat. It's not about honor or ability. It's just about ideals, goals.
There's never just two options. We got to think. If you're smarter, we can think of something.
I could try to scare them, put my helmet on, tell them I'm going to charge, give them a show, but I don't know how well that would work. And then
I
if
can
don't
back you
follow
up. I don't like the idea of going through the forest.
It's just
But,
How thick does the forest look?
It's pretty thick. I mean, you could make your way through. It will slow you down, but it's not like a jungle that you have to cut a way through. It's thick forest, thick brush, but you would find a way.
Yeah. But it's not an easy feat just to sneak around them.
No, well, depending on how far you go. If you go a couple hundred yards, they won't be able to hear you. If you're just like 20 yards in the forest, they probably will hear you.
I say we go around a couple hundred yards. And I think we won't lose that much time. And then on top of that, we will perhaps get not just behind them, but figure out what they're truly doing. If we engage them, one of them might run and warn their comrades.
Not if we cut them down first.
indeed, I am also not very quiet. And I kind of like shrug in my armor and creaks.
You don't have to be quiet if you're far enough away.
Taking a horse into the forest might be a bit tricky.
Yeah. I'd have to send her back.
Don't want
That's
to
why I don't take horses.
Surely, Sir Knight, you won't let yourself be stopped by that sort of people.
This time, Damien doesn't even turn around to look at him.
He has a point.
Yes, of course I do.
A point I don't like him making, but still a point.
Well, I don't want to do this, but it seems like the best way. And he kind of puts his helmet on.
Resort to the violence at first.
I'll look at the ogre. What is? How is he reacting?
Brian will simply turn back and move towards the barbarians.
Okay. Are you like you have your weapon like at the ready or just holding it on the side?
It's on my shoulder. Like okay. I'm holding everything in the bag,
right,
hanging on the battle axe.
I kind of put my spear to the side. I grab a bow as I'm waiting for the action to be in front of me.
Okay.
Yeah. You see Damien put his helmet on, and the tone he had before, the nice calm, is gone. He draws his sword. "Last chance, friends," he shouts. "Move or die."
What? They look at each
other. A big smile just goes across my face when he says that.
The leader sort of raises an arm. No, there's no need for violence. You can just wait until tomorrow noon. Surely a day won't make a difference for you.
Nope, this must be done today.
I cut him.
Sorry, what was that?
I raised my arm and cut him to try to cut him to avoid bloodbath before everything starts.
Okay.
And I move towards him.
Towards who?
I'll move along the road. Simply.
Okay. And Damien kind of neighs his horse up and says, "This must be done today. You're holding me up. Now move or die."
I yell at the barbarian captain. It's like, you have your orders, we have ours as well. We're also men of promise. I think we can both be holding up. You can be both protecting this road and letting us do our job. You could be a hero. You could be the one that sent us through the road to take care of a problem. And we will give you praise.
Just a moment. Just a moment. He turns back to his fellows and they start talking in the barbarian tongue. And you can see they're like, two of them are like shaking their heads. One of them pointing at you, another one's like pointing into the forest. And the discussion goes for about a minute or so, quite heated. And the leader sort of turns around to you and says, all right. If you're really that eager, we'll let you pass. We're not getting paid well enough for this. And they will sort of move aside to and stand on the edge of the forest.
Mm. Damien, he
fine.
visibly relaxes in his armor. Thank you.
I asked the captain of these group of men, I'm like, what is your name so we can give you praise?
My name's Arek.
Art? Just Art.
Arek.
All right. I apologize.
Right.
And I'm like, and once again, you shall be surprised by our capabilities. But if you wish to accompany us, so be it. I would like to have you as company.
Sorry, you're talking to the leader of the barbarians now?
Yeah.
All right. No, we're not going down there. It's not our path. So, but you can go through.
Anything else we should know of other than an abomination?
No, nothing. Just keep an eye out, and everything will be fine. The abominations might even be dead by now, if you're lucky.
Thank you for your warning. And be
Of
careful.
course. The merchant sort of coming up with his card and says, well, I suppose an out path as well. Shall I? You good fellas don't have a problem if we trail along, yes?
Only if you're willing to fight.
Be
Well, if
quiet.
this abomination attacks us, we will, of course, do our bidding. Our part.
Damien, do you believe in me? Or do you think they'll flee at the first sight of trouble?
Damien's gone for a moment.
And I look at the ogre in the changeling, and I'm like, do you think they will flee at the first sign of trouble?
I
No.
don't care.
That is preposterous, and leave behind all my wares.
Better your wares than your life.
Why, that's a good point. Anyway, we'll pass through then, yes? The barbarian leader just sort of shakes his head and says, suit yourselves, sure, just whatever.
I'm like, maybe you should listen to these men. They say if this road is not safe, you should take their word. We just came prepared to fight.
Give me a persuasive check.
No.
Yeah,
I say any kind of a cold, definitely non-Ambrian. Once again, it's just a matter of like, it's not that I'm trying to be persuasive. It's almost being more of dictated to by like a cold, heartless machine.
The merchant shakes his head and says, no, I believe this whole abomination thing is either a lie or it's over by now. So and I have wares to sell. So let's get going, boys. And he just hits the back of the horse with the reins, and it starts moving past you. It's slower than you on foot. It's a wagon, and the road isn't really that great for wagons, so you could probably overtake him and continue going without any issues. The barbarians sort of look at each other, and they look annoyed, and quietly talk amongst each other.
I start following the cart and just making my way down the road.
All right.
I follow suit as well.
Okay.
I'm moving in
So
front.
with the cart, or do you want to overtake it?
How much slower is the cart? Like, are we not going to get to our destination by night?
3/4 of your speed, maybe.
So we should be able to get there by nightfall.
Yes, but it will be very close with the cart. On foot, you'll be able to make it like an hour, or maybe even, about an hour to spare, you think?
Yeah, Damon would like try to pass the cart unless anyone says anything to him. Yeah,
Okay.
Damon would try to go
I'm
around
for
it.
moving forward.
Okay. So you pass the cart. The merchant just sort of gives you a thank you so much. Much appreciated. This whole business is I'm sure I might be able to pay a pint for you.
He just keeps talking, and I'm not turning around or anything. I'm just going.
Right. I will see you soon. Thank you again.
Company, I do not like the fact that we're leaving these travelers by themselves. I mean, if we are the ones that got them past a potential security spot, then I feel that is our duty to keep them safe as well. Even if
If he wants
it's
to
only
put
an
himself
hour.
into, if he wants to put himself into danger, he can. I don't like him anyways. Rather
I don't like him either.
Looks down upon the other races. If he wants to die, he can die on his own.
But I thought you were here to establish relations with the Ambrians and with other peoples of the woods.
Yeah, they're Umbrians. If they die, it's another Umbrian dead. Doesn't matter.
But wouldn't trade help the economy and establish a better relations amongst people?
I'll trade with him. He's probably going to rip them off.
As you leave the wagon behind the 3 men there.
Well, either way, I still don't like it. Anybody else wish to leave him by?
Let them be. They were on their way before us. They can be on their way after us.
All right. You leave the wagon behind and you travel onward. I'm assuming you're taking the same marching order like you did before. Basically, Damien on his horse a bit ahead, was hanging down. All right. Yeah. Now a bit more careful, I suppose, as you have heard potential warnings of abomination, but the forest is fairly quiet, and you pass mile upon mile without any incident, and then you can see maybe about half a mile further, there's a little bit of smoke curling up into the sky. This happens just about maybe an hour to an hour and a half before nightfall. So you must be getting close to the settlement now, this loggers encampment, basically.
Now, the smoke seemed to be of an unusually large size, like a forest fire, or like just a little bit of campfire.
It looks like maybe several like chimneys or campfires, basically. There's a few small whiffs of smoke, very close together, basically.
Well, I think we're getting close to our destination. I'm not sure how well they take to my kind. So my character, you see him actually lift up his hood, kind of wrap around the top of his head, and put a little bit of wrapping around the bottom of his face as well. Definitely putting his pack on, so he's hunching over a little bit. He starts walking almost more with a gait.
All right.
And then using his spear as almost like a walking cane.
Okay, so you now start approaching the settlement, and you see it's not very large. It's you can see maybe about 10 houses or so inside, and they're all surrounded by a fairly tall wooden wall. The wall is about maybe 12 feet high or so. And you can see several men, armed men by the looks of it, with bows and spears, standing on the walls, looking around. The gate itself is closed. It looks like there's some sort of trouble, or at least these people are being very vigilant.
I'm like, maybe we should have our arms down then, or put away at least. We don't want to raise more suspicion than we have to. How do you all feel about how we should approach this?
I'm just walking with like a quarterstaff, so like I would look pretty non-threatening, and I just keep walking if we're walking up.
Right.
Damon's sword is sheathed, and he takes his helmet off as he approaches so they can see his face.
You're still on the horse?
Yep, still on the horse.
Okay, you see a young fella, sort of reddish beard, a bit of a mustache, short red hair, with a spear standing there on top of the sort of on the side of the gate, and he sees you first, and he sort of looks surprised and then looks over the shoulder and calls something into the village and turns back to you, and he raises an arm like hesitantly. Hail! Who are you?
And Damon takes his helmet off, kind of gives him a big smile. Hello, Damon of Rivera. I'm here to. I have errands here, he says.
He sort of looks around, and then his eyes fall onto Aki, and he says, "It's one of them!" And he sort of crouches down and comes up with a bow, notches an arrow, and aims the arrow straight at Aki's face.
I definitely move away from Aki.
Don't move!
Damon's like, whoa, 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 whoa! What's happening here? What is the problem? Calm down, friend.
Another man, a slightly older one, comes up, and you can see this one has a bandage on his left shoulder. There's a little bit of blood seemed to have seeped through. It's like a fresh wound, basically. And he's also carrying a spear. He looks up and says, "What's going on?" There's one of them. There he is.
Whoa! Damon's gonna try and. Okay.
Says, That's a changeling. It's not an elf, you idiot." What? You think one of the elves would be traveling with a knight and an ogre and who
I
are
kind of
you?
like bells top.
Who are you? What do you want? This new fellow now shouts over.
We have an errand to run.
What kind of
We're
errand?
Shipping.
What?
We're here to escort someone back to another village.
Well, you look like you could take care of yourself, so more swords are always welcome. Let them in. Open the door. And the gate starts slowly swinging open. It's not a massive gate, but it is a large wooden gate anyway. It's
I
like
kind of look over at Aki, and I'm like, Aki, hey, look, most people don't care for our kind. Hide yourself. It makes life easier. Sometimes a little bit of discretion goes a long way. I'm sorry that has to be the case, but in my travels, it always seems to be.
So you enter the village and you see immediately that there's definitely been some trouble. You see several of the men walking around. There's no work being done at the moment around the encampment. There's no people logging, actually. Several of the men are standing on very high alert on the walls with like arrows and spears. And you can see maybe about a dozen or so men moving around the village. They're all armed and they're all, by the looks of it, or most of them look wounded. Once, like sort of two or three are like sort of moving a bit more cautiously. Several have bandages that look fairly fresh. And you can see a couple of women hurrying around with what looks to be carrying buckets of water from a small well in the center of the settlement into a building. And the guy, the sort of brownish fellow with the stooping mustache with the bandage on the shoulder that talked to you on the wall, comes climbing down a ladder, sort of winces a bit, rubs his wound, putting his axe away, and he says, "Welcome. You've caught us in a bad spot here. I'm afraid we've been attacked. You haven't happened to have seen any elves, have you?"
No, my friend. You've said I assume you're being attacked by elves.
Yes, the fuckers are out there, probably watching us at this moment. They've attacked us last night, just after nightfall. I don't know how many, dozen probably or more. They've been shooting arrows half the night. A couple of them tried scaling the walls. Thank God that there was some people here to help us. And he looks over and you can see actually on the side of one of the buildings, there's a massive ogre with his back sitting nearly double the size, in fact, of your ogre Bragan, like leaning with his massive muscular frame and his like bald head against the door, and just has this sort of large cleaver over his knees, and he's just staring away into nothing.
What happened to that building?
What do you mean?
You said there was a building they were bringing pails of water to or into.
Yeah. He says, "Oh, that's where the wounded are. We've had a bit of a tough fight. Lost 2 people and most of the others." And he sort of touches his wound. As you can see myself, I've been hit by arrows. Fucking elves are good archers. Cowards, though. Hiding in the shadows.
Indeed.
Oh, you might have to rejoin again, Luke. Your audio is getting weird.
I kind of hear the comment of shooting from the darkness as cowardice, and I just shake my head. Just knowing that tactics is not a form of cowardice, and the fact that this person sees it as so, like I just see it as this person is not being pragmatic, and they're honest with themselves. They use it as a way to hide their own fear, and so I just kind of look at them with a bit of contempt.
So you're willing to help, right? If the elves come back tonight, we only have about an hour's daylight left. So if they attack the same time as they did last night, they're gonna attack soon. About an hour and a half, maybe.
Well, we were here just to pick someone up and head back, but it wouldn't be very wise to head back if there are elves attacking. Now, would there be?
You came here to pick someone up.
Yes. There's a boy here. His uncle is dying. We need to just take him there to see him before he passes.
What's the boy's name?
I turned to the group. I don't know.
Cario.
He gives you a very strange look. You're here to take Elinara's boy.
Not to take him, just for a period of time to see his dying uncle.
Just a visit. He'll be brought back. Look, it's a matter for another time. You said there's elves attacking. That's more important, yes?
Right. Yes, indeed. Yes. That's more important, indeed. Right. You seem like you can handle yourself in a fight. So, just wherever you think you're best suited to use your skills. If you want to be up on the wall, if you want to be up on the walls, suit yourselves. There's a couple ladders you can get up there. He points at the central building where the ogre is sitting. He says, the roof there, that's a good vantage point. You can see the village. If you want to stay out here around the gate or in the central area, that's up to you, really. My name's Holier, by the way. I'm the leader here.
Why did the elves even attack? Did you do something to incur such wrath?
They don't need a reason to attack. They want us gone. You should know that. They consider all us humans. And he gives you a sort of a bit of a dirty look as he says that, us humans. They want all of us gone out of this forest. They don't care that it's our livelihood. They don't care that the forest is big enough for all of us. They just want us gone. They're bloodthirsty monsters is what they are.
And I shake my head once again, not really in agreement, but just to diffuse the situation and to move on to another subject.
Now, if you'll excuse me, I have to see to the rest of the defenses. Take position wherever you like. We probably only have an hour or so before they attack. And he walks away.
Damon will, once he walks away, Damon will turn to the group. We need to find the boy and protect him.
I agree with that. Should be our first task. Find whoever he is.
Yes, it appears to be something sore on the subject of asking about him. He was a little shocked when I said it, so do be careful.
Probably shocked that we're here for anybody in particular. I would be surprised.
Protecting the village would protect the boys.
Both. One of us needs to stick with the boy at all times. The rest of us can help with the city.
Should we spread out and find the boy?
Nah. And I move towards the other ogre.
Right. He sees you coming and he stands up, sort of towering above you. You only get up to his nipples, basically. He's, Oi.
Hi, brother.
Welcome, brother.
You stuck here? Or you was established here?
No, we just arrived yesterday, just before the attack.
Where did the elves try to climb the wall?
They did. I got one of them good. They're quick. They're very quick. Sort of swings his cleaver. through the air to show how he got one of them. And you can see there's a little bit of blood still on it, actually, on the blade. They're quick though, using spears to stay out of reach, and bows. Very fast.
Yeah.
So, quick question. This ogre's right in front of the middle building?
Yeah, exactly. There's a building in the center that seems like you'd call it like a village hall, I suppose, if this was like a proper sized village.
Okay. My character would see this thrilling ogre conversation and totally ignore it and go into the town hall looking for the child.
Okay, as you step towards the door, the ogre says, "Hey, where do you think you're going?"
Inside, looking for a child to take to his uncle.
Child?
Yes, a child.
With Jacopo. Looking for one of them?
I look at him confused. I'm sorry. Looking for who? Kobo? I don't understand you.
He gives you a look sort of that says you're a little stupid or something. Jacopo. He's the guy paying me.
Gotta pay you. So you haven't been paid?
I've been paid. He's the one paying me.
What are they paying you for?
What to take care, protect him, smash whoever wants to attack him or his other men. I'm strong. They call me Roughneck. Strongest one of all, am I? And he's
I believe you, Roughneck.
Muscles.
My character kind of gives like not necessarily a thumbs up, but I imagine more of like a fist in the air.
Right.
As to, I look at him and I'm kind of confused, and I'm like, where are most of the people being held up for their own defense? Is it behind you?
No, most of the people are over there. He points at the neighboring building where the women have been, where you spotted the women carrying the watering.
And I look at him and I'm like, thank you for your information. You have been most helpful. And I go to where the women have been carrying all the water.
All right. What is the rest of you guys doing?
I will stay near my computer and chat, random stuff.
Okay. So as you speak to this guy calling himself Roughneck, he basically tells you that he's been hired by this guy called Jacopo, who has been traveling around with a couple other people, and they arrived. He's been working for him for about a week or so, and they've arrived here only yesterday. He doesn't really know why, and then the elves attacked. He seems to be like a traveling mercenary, basically. But he's paying well. This Jacopo is paying very well.
Yeah. I'll keep talking, random stuff.
Right. Okay. What about the rest of you guys, Aki and Demian?
I would make my way up to like the wall or somewhere up higher along and just like keep an eye out towards the forest and just like seeing if I see any movement or anything like that.
Okay. Give me a vigilance check.
No.
The woods are quiet and dark, and getting darker by the minute.
And Damien will go with Fells.
Okay. So Damien and Fells, you both head to this kind of hospital, basically. As you enter, you see there is several mattresses, just very basic type of mattresses lying out on the floor. And there's about maybe 5 or 6 fairly heavily wounded men lying on the mattresses. And there's about like a dozen women or so in the room. Some of them are taking care of the wounded. Others are cutting like blankets and stuff apart with knives to make some sort of bandages. Others are boiling some water or cooking some sort of food in the back. And there's about maybe 1 or 2 uninjured younger men sort of keeping an eye on things.
Do one of these younger men look to be about 13 or 12 by any chance?
No, they're about maybe 15, 16, you'd say. But like older teenagers, basically. Both look quite nervous and fairly pale. And they look at you with wide eyes as you come in. One of the women, older woman with grayish hair tied together in a bun behind her head, turns. And you're more strangers. You've come to help us against these elves.
My character bows and looks at Damien for guidance as to what to do next.
Damien looks at her. Yes, ma'am. We came here looking for someone, but we're here now, so we had to help with the elves too. We can't just leave you here like this.
Yes, good. That is good. We need all the help we can get. Otherwise, they'll kill us all, probably. Who are you looking for?
I forgot his name again. I'm sorry.
Cario.
Cario.
I'll write in the chat. Cario.
Okay, thank you. So, Cario. Should be a boy, 13.
Yes, of course, I know him. It's Elinara's boy. Elinara!
I kind of look around, see if I can see a boy in the background.
You see a woman sort of turning around. She's maybe in her mid-30s or so. Fairly handsome. In a bit of more of a sort of nearly masculine type, basically. A good-looking woman in some ways, but sort of fairly stern-faced, shortish, barely shoulder-length, dark brown hair. Fairly tall for a woman and sort of striking more than beautiful, if you know what I mean. She looks like a woman who could take care of herself fairly well, especially now that she's holding a fairly big knife in her hand. She's been cutting bandages, basically. And she turns and says, yes, what is it? These men, they came here looking for your boy. She comes over, looking at you quite sternly. You'll be looking for Cario.
Yes, ma'am.
What do you want with him?
Ma'am, I know you are not on the greatest terms with the rest of your family, the Ambrian side, but his uncle has fallen ill and is passing. His last wish is to see Cario before he leaves.
Jeddoro?
Indeed.
He's fallen ill. So his deeds have caught up with him, have they?
Perhaps, man.
He just wishes to see Cario once before he passes.
I'm afraid that's going to be hard to do.
What do you mean by hard to do?
Probably the elves, I assume, is what you mean.
Well, that's one part of the problem. The other part is... She gives you a really angry look. The older woman steps in and puts a hand on her shoulder and says, now, we'll handle the whole thing. Surely the boy won't be harmed. He better not be. Black cloak or not, I'll slit his throat myself if he harms my son.
Madam, if I harm your son, I'll let you slit my throat.
I wasn't talking of you, knight.
Oh, shit.
I was talking about the man who took my son.
I'm confused.
The older woman says that the strangers came last night into the village. They arrived just an hour or so before the elves attacked. They helped us, the ogre and some other men. Without them, we're not sure if the village would be here at all. They wounded some of the elves, beat them back. Then they said, they talked to people and they said that the elves are going to keep attacking. And they'll help us, but only if we let them cleanse the village. Their leader, the Black Cloak, you know?
No.
Black Cloaks are kind of like witch hunters, basically, for those of you who don't know. Sort of sometimes officially connected to the church, sometimes not. They said that Cario and girl named Magdala. They said that they're both tainted and they need to be cleansed. Only if that happens are they going to continue helping us against the elves. So they've taken them both to this hall. They've been holding them there. Lara just grits her teeth. You can hear like her teeth just like scratching against each other during this tale. Her arm muscles going out like ropes.
You see Damien turn and walk out immediately, very quickly. Just kind of pushes the door out, starts going towards the hall.
All right.
And I look at her and I'm like, I'm sorry for your loss, ma'am. Nobody should be taken like that.
He's
Look at your
not
son
dead,
back.
and he will be fine.
He will be fine. That I know. And I turn away.
And you can just hear the
Very
old
somber.
woman saying, yes, they'll both be fine. Don't worry. Blacklock said that the ritual won't harm them. It's just gonna, just a little bit of smoke, and then you're leaving. That's the last you can hear. I guess
Look at Damien. Like Damien, they might actually mean well.
Damien turns. I've been around these black cloaks as long as I've been alive. They never mean well. Overzealous. If what I know they do is cleansing, it's going to involve fire.
That it may involve, but it actually might help the children if they indeed have corruption. I cannot see the corruption myself. Maybe
Either way,
one of our party can.
Either way, I need to see them, make sure he's alive and well, and they're not going to harm him.
I'll look for the others. I'll tell them about the situation. If you want to go to the central building now, I'll go around looking for the others. Not because once again, I don't know exactly.
Yeah, you'll find Bragan very easily because he's sitting right next to the main building on the floor, talking to the other ogre on the dirt, basically. And you will also see Aki's form as he sticks out from the villages quite a lot, just walking around on the walls, gazing out into the forest.
Okay. I presume Aki would be the harder one. Damien's obviously going to see Bragton, so I'll go to Aki to tell him the story.
Sure. So you climb up, or you gesture him down, and he climbs down, and you spend a minute or so to bring him up to speed, basically. Damien, what do you want to do?
Damien's gonna walk up to the ogre.
Yeah.
Listen, friend, I need to get in there and talk to your leader now. It's of utmost importance.
All right, I suppose. He sort of stands up and bangs on the door and says, Master Jacopo, there's some armored guy here to talk to you. He says it's important. His voice booms out really loud. The whole village can hear him, basically. A moment or so passes, about 10, 15 seconds or so, and then the door opens and you can see a fella dressed in sort of this sort of chainmail armor, the bushy beard, and holding a short sword sort of to the side, like one hand on the short sword. He looks out and says, you here to speak to Master Jacopo?
Yes.
What do you want with him?
I need to speak to him about Cario. It is of utmost importance.
The boy. Why do you
Yes.
want to speak to the master about the boy?
I have been sent to ensure his well-being by Jeddoro.
Looks confused. He clearly doesn't know who that is. But then steps in and says, all right, sure, come. And you see as you step in, this guy is also slightly injured in the way he moves. He seems to be one of the guys fighting, to have been fighting last night. And you see there's two more fellas also dressed in this like shoddy chainmail, playing cards on the table. And they look up, and then the guy who opened the door for you, he gestures for you to wait and then heads up the stairs onto the top floor. The other two guys who are playing cards, they also seem slightly injured. Not heavily by any means, but they're definitely seeing some combat.
Mm-hmm. Damien just has a stone face on right now and crossed arms leaning against the wall.
All right. You wait for a bit, and then there's footsteps, and you can see the guy who went up, and then another fella, a fairly tall figure, cleanly shaven, wearing a like sort of wide black leather hat, sort of pulled forward, obscuring part of his face. And he stops, and you can see he has a crossbow on his back, a fairly large one, and sort of the sort of black leather cloak, archetypical black cloak sort of type of cloak, sort of pushed back, revealing a very finely made sort of silkened cuirass underneath, a very expensive type of armor. And he's sort of looking down on you as he's standing like 4 or so steps up the stairs. He says, "My name is Jacopo. You wish to speak to me? Who are you? And what is your business with the boy?"
I am Damien of Ravenest. I'm a knight. I've been sent here to ensure his security and make sure he sees his uncle, Jeddoro, before he dies.
His uncle?
Yes, Father Jeddoro.
Father Jeddoro? A priest?
Indeed.
Well, you can tell this priest that his nephew is in good health. Neither he nor the girl will be harmed. We will cleanse them, and then they will be returned to their parents and or uncle or whoever. I don't care, to be perfectly honest.
Well, I need to see him, ensure his safety, ensure his well-being. How long will this cleansing take?
Only a few hours, but we cannot do it here. We need to do it outside in the forest. But the elves have to be beaten back first. So you have heard of the elves, yes?
He doesn't say anything. He just looks at him like, really?
Yes, so there is an attack imminent, so I suggest you make yourself useful.
I want to see him first. I will help the city. I must see Cario first. And I will be with you every step of the way you cleanse this darkness.
We will see about that. But if you wish to see the boy, sure. Come. He goes up the stairs and opens a door on the right. And you can see this maybe 12-year-old boy and the girl, also sort of a similar age, both sitting on bed next to each other. They look nervous, but unharmed. The boy is maybe, as he has been described, light of hair, fairly slender built, sort of light skin, sort of grayish blue eyes. The girl's the exact opposite, also light skinned, but very, very dark hair, tied in like 2 braids falling back onto her back and basically down into bed behind her. They both look, as I said, nervous, yet unharmed.
Mm-hmm.
They both sort of stand up as you enter, looking at you, wide eyes.
I just kind of walk towards Cario, kind of take a knee, put my hand around him. Son, are you okay?
Yes.
They hurt you?
No. Who are they said I need to go with them. Who are you?
I'm Damien of Ravenest. I'm a knight. I've been sent here to ensure your safety by your uncle. Jeddoro.
Uncle Jed.
Yes.
He sort of takes a half step back. Why would he send someone?
He's dying, and he wishes to see you before he passes.
He's dying?
Indeed.
How?
He's ill. Something I've never seen. Some sickness. But they say it cannot be cured.
His eyes go a bit wider at these words. A sickness? Is he coughing up blood and such?
Indeed.
He looks a bit more afraid now and sort of takes 2 steps away from you backwards. The girl looks a bit confused. Now, that was enough. The children are unharmed, as you have seen. I suggest you
Damien-
make yourself useful.
Damien doesn't move. He just says, I will ensure your safety. I will be with you every step of the way. Do you understand me?
The boy gives you a sort of hesitant look and a very slight nod.
You go nowhere with them without me. And then I stand up. I turn to the girl. I'll keep you safe too.
She looks confused, but nods.
And then I give the witch hunter, the man in black, a glare. Don't hurt them at all.
I am not here to hurt children.
It would not be above your order, now would it? And then walks out.
What is that supposed to mean? I would be careful how you speak of my order, Sir Knight. You have no power here.
He taps his sword. We can see about that. And then just leaves.
We will indeed. As you, yes, his voice just following you down the stairs.
And then he walks out, slams the door.
Okay. The three guys, just three followers of the Black Cloaks, are staring at you quietly in silence as you walk through the room and step outside. The ogre just sort of gives you a nod. You talked to Master Jacopo, yes?
And he goes from stone-faced and angry to very smiley and happy immediately. Indeed. Pleasant fellow. And I just give him I give him a slap on the back, and then I tell him to come in and tell him to come in close. Listen, how much are they paying you? You tell me. Come on.
They paid me $1 a day.
I'll give you 2 thaler. You ensure the boy and the girl in there don't get hurt. If they try to do anything to them, you stop them. You hear me? 2 thaler.
Give me a.
And then more when you meet up with me. All right, persuasive.
Right.
Made it by 1.
Okay. He says, I don't like people who hurt kids. You gonna help us kill the elves?
Indeed, I'm gonna help with the elves, and I'm gonna ensure these kids are safe. And then he pulls out 2 thaler and puts it in his hand.
As this is happening, the ogre's massive paw closes around the coins. The door opened, and you could hear the Black Cloak's voice saying, Roughneck, we need you in here. Right now. Hi, boss. Coming. He pushes past you and goes in. The door closes behind him.
I see Damien coming out, and I head towards him. I kind of whisper, how did the situation go? Did you learn more?
The kids are safe for now. There's 2. The boy is safe. But I don't trust those Black Cloaks. I've seen what they do before. Zealots. As soon as this battle is done, we will come back here and ensure their safety. And then I kind of lean in close to you. I paid off the ogre. He'll help us, hopefully.
Can you trust them? I mean,
No.
even with coin. Fair enough. Well, we need someone by the child when things go awry. Will you be that man?
They won't let us up there to stay by him, but I can stay by this building in this general area if it helps.
I will look around the area, see if there's a certain vantage point that would be most useful to slow down, hamper, or block off. I have a few traps that I usually use for corrupted individuals and abominations and undead and such, but in a pinch, I can't see why it won't work for elves as well.
Also,
So my attempt is to...
If you do me a favor, check and see if there are any other exits to this building that they might try to sneak out of.
So be it. I'll look around. Good luck.
As you're having this conversation, you can hear a brief commotion at the gate. Actually, one guy says, there's something! Movement in the forest! It's the
I
elves!
have not as much time as I would like.
Another guy says, no, it's not the elves. It's a horse. The fuck?
Damn. The traitors. My intention at this time would be to actually look around the building for any obvious points of entry other than the main doors that were just by.
Oh, there's
and
only
obvious
four,
exits.
but there's at least about 5 or 6 windows, and they're all at the floor level. They're all the shutters are closed at the moment, but it's not that hard to open them up, like wooden shutters. And the buildings here don't have glass windows. Glass is way too expensive for a small settlement in the middle of the forest. So the only thing that's actually closing the window are the wooden shutters.
Right.
So it's not that very difficult to get in or out the building on the ground floor if you really want to.
Would I know by looking around if where the guards were for the black cloaks on the inside? Like how many rooms are there? Because I do have 4
You have
different traps.
side, that basically the building's not massive. It's just big in the sense of this little village. Basically, it's not really a large building by any means. It's the only building that has more than just the ground floor, though. This one actually has a top floor, basically. And you can see there's one man now positioned on the roof, holding a couple of javelins, like a bundle of javelins in his hand, and just looking out over the village. One of the black cloaks men. You're not sure where the other ones are. I assume that Demian would have shared with you that he saw 4 men instead of 3 men and the black cloak inside.
Okay. I would like to tie where, I'm going to look inside the shutters possibly. If there's a room, is there only one room on the bottom floor, or is there like 2?
You can spend about maybe 10, 15 minutes trying to peek through and like walk around the building if you want to. It would gonna be pretty obvious though that you're doing that. You have to sort of
I'm not sure.
against the shutters to peek inside. Otherwise, you wouldn't be able to see.
Right. My intention is to not hide my actions from anybody that would see me currently. It's to best understand how to defend this building.
Right. So it looks like there's basically 3 rooms on the ground floor. There's the large, like a common room of an inn kind of, which takes about maybe 70, 80% of the ground floor. And then there's 2 smaller rooms towards the back.
Is there only these 2 rooms towards the back? Do they each have an exit into the main larger room?
Exactly, yeah.
Okay. Now, is there like one window, out of lack of better words, towards each of these smaller rooms, or is there more than one?
No, they each have just 1 window.
Okay. I would like to. Is there like a lot of high grass around this building, or is it like clear mud?
The area of the village is just like dirt, basically. There's very little grass. It's been trampled down.
Okay. I would proceed to go to Roughneck. Is Roughneck's inside, correct? He's been summoned inside?
Yeah, Roughneck is
so there's
inside.
Nobody outside currently.
No, none of the Black Cloaks people are outside at the moment. The only one is on the roof. You don't know where the rest is. Roughneck is somewhere inside. You can sort of vaguely hear his voice coming from the inside because he's speaking very loudly. You can't really understand what he's saying, but you can hear him on the ground floor.
I would knock on the main door towards the main hall. It's like, excuse me, I apologize.
Door opens and one of the
moment.
Black Cloaks men looks out at you. What do you want?
I noticed that you have a couple entrances that is not fully secured. I have a job to do, and that's protect the child that you have inside this building. I would like to help secure this building more efficiently. If you'd allow me, I wish to set traps around a couple of windows that you, I presume, are not currently guarded. For better your safety and the child.
The Black Cloak's voice comes from the sort of inside of the room, somewhere beyond the door, going, I don't think that would be necessary. The elves will attack the village walls. If you want to use your traps, I suggest to you that there. Once they are inside, we are in quite a lot of trouble anyway.
Right. I understand your thoughts and philosophy, but if there's a couple that do slip past the wall, any extra security of my job
The
and
black
your
cloak
job,
steps into view, gives you a look, a changeling.
yes. So,
You are more akin to them than to us, are you not?
I don't know of them. I've never been with them in their society.
Hmm.
Only that of men and goblins and ogres.
Blood is thicker than water, they say.
Well, they say a lot of things. They
That-
also say that demons come in the night and scare people in their dreams. They also say a lot of things.
You'd be surprised. But you have a fair
No.
point. Nonetheless, I do not think it is a wise idea placing traps within the village. The
It's
chance,
within this building. You
elf
take
would-
them down after the elves attack.
well, the chances that one
I'll show you where they're at.
stumble into one of those traps during the fighting is much higher than that an elf will stumble into them. The elves are far more fleet of foot and sharp of eye than the villagers here.
Well,
Would just
I
be
mean,
in
do the
danger.
villagers wish to come through windows that are shuttered and closed? I think not. It's merely a mixture of a warning system
Run past the building.
and a deterrent. You
Do
think
what
you can handle it
desire, but I do not think it is a good idea.
unless you wish. I will tell you of men, well, your men inside the building, where they're at. So thus for, if they get sprung, you know what to look for.
Very
If
well.
they bypass them, it at least slows them down and buys you time,
Yes,
allowing
yes.
for us to do both of our jobs better.
Do not worry about the children. One of my men will stay with them at all times. Should any of the elves make it that far, which I doubt.
Hmm.
I myself
take the
will be
risk.
on the roof, overseeing things.
So be it.
And
I might be on
Roughneck-
another route.
Roughneck will be our other line of defense, won't you, my friend? Aye, boss. I'll be ready to cut those shitty elves apart. That's what you're paying me for, yeah? Indeed, that and other things. Now then, pose your traps if you so wish. I believe the elves will be
I'll be-
attacking soon. There is
Yes,
not much
I
daylight
must.
left.
I will hurry. I go to basically each of the two smaller rooms. So as soon as you hop into the window, there's a trap on underneath each,
On the inside.
on the inside. Not the
Oh,
outside.
I misunderstood. I
That-
thought you meant
So
to
that
say,
way, when they come in, there's the trap,
right,
and not
right.
so easily seen.
That makes much more sense, yes. Both me and the Black Cloak have clearly misunderstood your intentions.
I apologize. My communication skills are.
That's all right. No worries. Okay.
I actually do set up 2 bear traps. I'm not sure of how you wish to. It didn't give me some kind of damage or anything. I don't know.
Yeah, that's fine. That's fine. If I'd say they will do 1d6 damage if anyone steps onto them. Yeah, I'd say d6 is fair. Okay, so it is getting dark. The villagers found a horse which kind of wandered in. Do you recognize that horse? It's the horse that was pulling the merchant's wagon. You're not sure what happened with the rest of them, the merchants and the merchant and the wagon and his 2 fellows that were, but they are nowhere to be seen. The horse, however, is here and it looks kind of nervous. And it is getting dark very soon, so take a moment to think and tell me what else, like what last minute preparations you might want to do and where do you want to be when night falls. And we'll have a short break here, about 3 minutes or so people can get some water, go to the bathroom if they need, and so on. And then we'll be jumping in with sundown and some action.
Just does the horse thighs look like they've been cut by a beast or by sword?
It looks like it's like broken off, basically. like as if the horse had torn itself free or something.
Okay.
All right. Good break. See you soon. All right. I'm back.
Hello. By the way, I don't know if you like adult beverages, Alex, but I figured, are you familiar with this product?
I can't really read
hold on. Semi-Klaus?
I have no idea. I don't see what it is.
Oh, okay, apparently my The webcam on the computer is terrible. I apologize.
That's all
I
right.
think it's pronounced Semi-Klaus. Samichhlaus.
Doesn't seem familiar. Should I know that?
It's a product of Austria. I didn't know if you'd be familiar with it or not.
Nope. No. Doesn't sound familiar.
Well, if you like beers at all, I find it quite delicious.
Okay. Yeah, not a massive fan. I mean, I do drink beers, but not a big fan. Anyway, returning to the game. So, where do you guys want to be as night falls over the small wood-cutting encampment? Let's start with Brandon and.
All right. So I would make my way back up to like somewhere towards the front of like the entrance and perching myself back up on top of the gate, keeping my eyes open.
Right. So you're okay. Yep. All right. So where is Fels?
Fels would probably be. You said the building with the women helping tending to the wounded. That is across from the main hall. Is that correct?
Yeah. The whole village is really only like maybe 15 or so buildings. So there's the central square with a well, and then there's like 4 or 5 buildings on that. And one of them is the sort of hospital building, so to speak. The other one is the sort of main hall. And then there's like another row of buildings around that, and then there's the wall. Basically, that's the whole village, really.
Okay. I would go to the building with the wounded, and I would ask anybody inside, what is the best way that I can help defend this building, just in case intruders would get over the wall?
The standard door, basically.
Okay. I'll be like, I will take that to note, but I'll go to the wall first, and then if things would occur, I would retreat back to that building.
Certainly, you can do that. There's about a dozen or so villagers, partially wounded, and some of them armed with bows, some of them with javelins, some of them with axes or spears, sort of positioned on the wall and sort of behind the wall in different positions, getting ready. Holier, the sort of guy with a wound on the shoulder with a mustache who let you in, the sort of leader of the village, is putting everyone into their own position. He seems very nervous, and most of the people here do seem very nervous too. Where is Dragon?
I'll be next to the wall where I've gathered the elves found the most ways to climb.
The walls, I mean, it's hard to say. The walls are very climbable everywhere, pretty much. I mean, they're not super high. So it's kind of hard to really make. You're not sure where they could. I mean, they could be coming from all directions.
I'm not far from the door then.
From the gate of the village.
The gates, yeah.
Right. Okay.
And I'm sitting away. I'm sitting not to show myself, basically.
All right.
Behind
and
corner.
Damian, where are you?
So Damian, first thing he's gonna do, put someone on, put a serious face on, go up to the commander.
Just relog real quick.
Oh,
Your
awesome!
voice
I love
is going weird. There we go.
Shit. All right, awesome. So Damian, first thing he's gonna do is go up to the commander and ask them if they have any way of making fire, like fire arrows or fire. You put fire on the javelins of some sort.
They have torches.
Okay. So if we throw or put fire into the forest, we might be able to light some of these trees and more visibility in the forest.
The trees are too wet. It's been raining in the last couple of days. A torch won't do much. But they have torches prepared on the walls, just like tied to the side of the wall, so that the wall itself is lit. And some of the men are prepared to like throw torches onto the ground outside to light up the surrounding area a little bit as soon as they spot movement, basically.
Okay. And then Damian would probably find a place on the wall where he could see a place on the wall where he could very easily see the town hall building. So if he needed to glance over.
Right. So that would be on the sort of, so that the gate itself is on the eastern side.
Uh-huh.
The town hall is sort of more on the northern side of town. or the village. So you could be on the northern side of the wall if you want. That's
Is that where is anyone over there defending? Are they attacking from over there at all?
There's like a couple people everywhere. Like there's at least one guy on each side, at least.
Okay, so yeah, Damon will be over by the northern side and just the closest proximity to the gate, on the gate, but closest to the town hall as he can be, so we can keep an eye on it.
Yeah, you can see one of the Black Cloak's men is at the gate as well. The ogre Roughneck is just sitting in the waiting in town square, basically waiting for elves maybe to jump over the walls or whatever. And the third one is on the sort of opposite side, on the western side of the wall, opposite of the gate. The Black Cloak himself, you can see sort of the hat peeking out on the roof of the hall itself, the town hall, the village hall itself. And the last one of his men is nowhere to be seen. Must be in one of the buildings.
Okay. So yeah, just as long as he could get a quick run over to the building, that's all he wants.
Yeah, you can do that. You would need about 3 movement actions maybe to get to the building.
Okay.
All right. Let's see what's going on. So the first sign of trouble really is a scream. And Aki, you're standing close to the gate. And
yes,
you can see one of the men who's clutching a torch in one hand and a javelin in the other, all of a sudden, shout out, and you look over to him and you see an arrow nearly materializing in the side of his arm, which is holding the javelin, and it just goes all the way through, and he drops the javelin, and there's this now elvish arrow stuck in his arm, and he sort of crouches down immediately.
I would look towards like the forest or like the direction where I would think it would come and try to see if I can see who had shot it.
Yep. Give me a vigilance check with. Give me a second. What are the elves? Elves, where are they? Anyway, just roll me a check. I'll give you the modifier.
I rolled a 1, so.
Oh, okay. Yeah, it would be a -1 in total.
Yeah, I'd pass.
Yeah, you do actually see a figure leaning in between 2 trees with a tall bow in hand and just notching another arrow, basically.
All right, I would want to cast confusion on him.
Okay, well, right now we are in initiative, so we're starting with the top initiative, which is Fels. You have the highest initiative in combat. So what do you wish to do?
As soon as I kind of hear the screams of a man who's been shot, I immediately go towards a high vantage place that I would try to get a better understanding of the situation.
So you're already on the wall, yeah?
Yeah, but I didn't know if there's like a better position I can get to or anything like that. Or is the wall the absolute highest point?
The wall is, except for the roof of the town hall, is the highest point, yes. Okay.
Well, I definitely look around for additional fire. I figured I'm not exactly in the front gate. I'm somewhere else.
Okay, Vivian is on the north side. Aki is at the gate, which is the east side. So you can be on the south or west, depending on where you want to be.
Which side is closest to the hospital? Or
the south, the south side.
I would be on the south side then.
All right, excellent. So you're sort of looking around. Give me a vigilance check with -1.
I do not pass.
Okay, there is nothing to be seen. No movement in the forest. The ground is dark. You can't see.
I have my bow out, and then I have my spear kind of on the ground next to me as well. But I'm still just holding to see if I see anybody come.
All right, Aki, you're up next.
All right, so on the one that I'd seen, I would try to cast confusion on him.
All right.
Does he have a resolute modifier?
He has a resolute modifier of 0, so no.
I pass.
All right. You take 1 point of temporary corruption, I believe, yeah, because you have wizardry on the depth level. Right. So that's a D6 that you're rolling for him on his turn. And do you wish to move?
No, I'll stay right where I'm at.
Cool. It is now the elf's turn, so you can roll me for that guy that you hit. You see him sort of hit his head.
He acts normally.
Okay, so that's a 5 or 6, basically.
Yes.
So he will stumble forward, and this elf will take a shot straight at you, Aki, as he saw you reaching towards him with your hand, and reload and shoot an elvish arrow towards you. That will be an attack with a -5. They are very good archers, these elves.
He hits.
All right, roll me armor.
3.
You take 2 points of damage as the arrow flies and nicks you on the shoulders, flying past you and hitting the wall of the building. Other elves are moving in.
Scream out.
Damien, you are fairly visible target with your heavy armor and all that. 2 arrows come out of the darkness, shooting at you. Give me 2 defense checks with -5.
I just roll under my defense, right? That's the...
Yeah, so you have your defense. Okay. What is your defense?
14.
14. So you go down by 5 for the accuracy of the elves. So you go down to 9. So you roll on a 9 or less 2 times.
6 and a 4.
Both. So you see the arrows coming and you have a shield, right? Oh no, you don't have a shield. You have a greatsword or something like that, right?
I have a buckler with the greatsword, but that's...
Oh yeah. So you like duck down and smash one of the arrows out of the air with your buckler. The other one just flies past.
Can they just ping off?
No, that would happen if you had rolled enough armor to not take any damage.
Okay.
Okay. That was the elf's turn. Bragan, you're up next. You hear the commotion now. Arrows flying past. Not as many as you would have thought, maybe about half a dozen or so, but still people shouting and screaming. Yeah. They're attacking! Yeah, there's one over here! There's 2 more coming! And just like shouting coming from all directions.
Can I glance over the wall just to see how many?
Not tall enough. The wall's about 12 feet or so tall. It's about 3.5 meters or so.
I wanted to be on top, just.
Oh, didn't you say
at
the bottom of the gate?
No. I wanted to be on top of the wall, sitting.
Oh, okay. Sorry, I misunderstood. Yeah, that's fine. So you glance up. So you must be close to Aki then, because you're also close to the gate.
Yeah.
So you saw an arrow basically hitting him and flying past.
Mm-hmm.
What do you want to do?
I want to glance to see how many elves.
Give me a vigilance check. -1.
So if I equals.
Equal is successful.
So I succeed.
Although you do have to take a -1 to your attribute.
I have a 11, so -1, 10, and 10.
At the gate, you only see 1 single elf.
Yeah, there's nothing really I can do. I have a great axe, so.
That is true. You do not have any ranged weapons. Unless you want to throw the great axe.
I have 1.
Well,
I'm staying behind cover.
All right.
Sitting behind the wall.
All right. That brings us up to Fels once more.
Sorry about that. Okay, once again, I quickly glance over, looking over, seeing if I can see any elves as I have my bow in hand.
Yep.
You said, I'm sorry, cut out perhaps.
Vigilance check.
I did not pass.
You have no clue. There's nothing there to be seen, just darkness.
All right. As I quickly looked over and did not see anybody, I bend over to touch my spear. And as I do so, just like slight black, gray, and other just like almost mist comes from my hand and covers my weapon as it is now imbued with revenants.
Nice.
Revenants.
And I believe you take 1d4 corruption for this, my friend.
I do. And I take 2
temporary corruption. All right. You feel the backlash of the magic shooting into your fingertips and this cold, tingling sensation running through your body. Shake your head for a moment. You have experienced this before, and you will do so again. But your spirit
and then again,
glowing with
that is my turn.
Light. All right. Aki, you're up next.
All right, so I'll roll to maintain the confusion.
Yep.
I succeed, and I will cast Brimstone on him.
All right, you see the elf coming towards you, aiming at you once more, and you channel fire, shooting it towards him.
Alex, I think I was skipped. I got shot at, but I never did anything.
Oh, you're right. Sorry, you're right. I did skip you at the end of the turn. Anyway, you can go after Aki. Yeah.
All
Sorry.
right, I succeed on my brimstone.
Right. And I believe you have to hit him now, yeah, or something?
Oh yeah, sorry. It's minus his quick. I forgot.
Yeah. His quick is 13, so -3.
Yeah, I would have hit.
All right. The fire shoots forth from you, illuminating the darkness around.
And I hit him for 8.
Oh, shit. That does not ignore armor, right? Brimstone Cascade is just...
I believe it does not ignore armor.
All right. You hear a scream of pain from the elf outside as the fire descends from your fingertips, smacking into him.
And I do not see any other elves nearby, correct?
No, that is the only elf on your side of the wall from the looks of it.
Okay.
All right. Now, Damien, sorry, I skipped you. Go ahead, take your turn from last.
No problem. So Damien doesn't have any ranged weapons, so he kind of looks out to see if he can see any elves. That's pretty much all I can really do at this point.
Give me a vigilance check.
All right. No.
You have no clue where these 2 arrows came from.
But then he'll just turn to the men and be like, "Just hold strong. It'll be fine." He's gonna try and like hype them up a little bit. I'm here.
All right. With that, it is the elf's turn. Roll me for that one confused elf.
He attacks his own party. I rolled a 3.
All right. The closest ally, which means he will sort of stumble backwards, half dazed, and you see he turns his bow to the right and takes a shot. However, the shot does not connect. Fels, you hear a swift movement, and you look up and you see a figure leaping up and landing next to you on the wall, and instantly stabbing out with spear. Even while in flight, you see these dark hair swinging, this pale face with massive black eyes, akin to yours in some ways, but then again not. And the spear shoots out like the tongue of a snake at you. That will be a just straight up defense roll without any modifiers.
I passed with a 1. I don't know if that makes a difference.
You bring up your own spear and block his tip to the side. He lands next to you, this elven warrior, staring at you. That was 1 elf, 2 elves. Couple of arrows fly. Damien, give me one more defense check, and as another arrow strikes or tries to strike at you, flying your way.
That's a hit.
Okay, roll armor. This time your buckler is not fast enough.
10 on the armor.
Okay, but it just goes. The arrow breaks. It doesn't do anything. You hardly feel a prickle. However, you do see a guy next to you get shot straight in the face. Ah! He just falls over the wall.
Can I try to bodyguard that?
He was not like immediately next to you. You don't have enough.
Oh, okay.
Like, form like a shoulder to shoulder thing. There's like 3 or 4 yards until the next guy.
Okay.
All right, that was the elf's turn. Bregan.
Can I use my Beast Lord to get an idea of their strength and weakness?
I think Beast Lord only works on beasts, if I'm not.
No, it's monsters. And in monsters, you have abomination, beast, cultural beings, and or undead in level 2 of Beast Lord.
Right. Let me check that real quick. You have to choose one of them.
Only for adept. Adept, I choose one of them to do more damage, but I can get. On novice, I can get. You make a cunning test to recognize or recollect a monster's strength and weakness.
Yeah, that's correct. So give me a cunning check. Yes.
I failed.
Okay. You haven't had much experience with elves. You know they're quick. That's all you know. And good archers, apparently.
Yeah, I'll keep observing.
All right.
I can gather that later.
That was Bragan's turn. Damien, you're up.
Okay, so Damien can't really see anything, so he just kind of turns and he's gonna walk towards the guy to his left and try to stay next to him so he can try to keep at least one dude safe, and then look out and see if he can see any elves.
Okay, give me another vigilance check.
What's the minus on that?
-1.
Okay. Yeah, no.
Still nothing. I mean, there must be at least one elf out there somewhere. The arrows are not just like appearing out of thin air, but you no clue where he is. Fels, you're up.
Okay, as I see this immediate foe in front of me, I had a hand on my spear. I take it with 2 hands. We're at the same length of spear to spear, except for mine is now imbued with the powers of a certain revenant. And I strike back quickly and adeptly at my foe in front of me.
All right.
What's the negative to hit?
-3.
Okay, 7 hits. And so
Nice.
as I hit with my spear, it is a D4 for the revenant and a D8 for the spear itself, for a total of 8 damage. I don't know if it makes a difference. 4 from the spear, 4 from the revenant.
No, it does not.
Okay.
Your spear shoots out. He tries to block it. He's not fast enough, and you get him into the leg, piercing his calf muscle quite deeply. There's a lot of blood. The elf stumbles, and he gives a nearly beast-like.
I look at it, and once again, I almost like when I stabbed him and brought my hand back, I just like accidentally almost uncovered a bit more face, showing the fact that I'm a changeling. So close to being like him, but not quite.
Just hisses at you. Aki, you're up next.
All right, roll to maintain the confusion. A 1, I pass, and I will cast Brimstone right back at him again.
Okay.
And that was -3, correct?
-3, yes.
No, I failed that time.
This time,
but I still hit him for a D6.
Oh, what is that, Matt? Do you have?
Because it's 1d12 on a pass, 1d6 on a fail.
Oh, that's right. That's right. So he managed to sort of twist out of the way a little bit, but the fire still nicks him.
For 1.
Okay, that does not do anything. His armor protects him. He leaps out of the way like a cat to the side. And we have the elves. Roll me the guy with the confused guy again.
Again, a 3. Attack his ally.
Okay. Shoots once more and once more misses. He's too confused, just shooting the arrows all over the place. Then we have the elf fighting Fels on the wall. A spear shoots out once more towards your face. That's a minus, +0 actually, so no modifiers.
I pass with a 4.
All right. Once more, you block the spear aside as you're sort of not really circling each other because there's not enough space, but sort of moving back and forth a little bit, trying to find an opening. However, he's bleeding quite a bit.
And I look at him and I'm like, you're about to rot.
And you realize that on the western side of the wall, there an elf has leapt up onto the wall and has started stabbing around. He's fighting 2 of the villagers at the moment. He's too far from each of you to reach him at this very moment. We have another arrow. Just as you are running, Damien, just as you're running towards the closest guy next to you, you hear a scream behind you. Turn around, you see another villager was standing there, is clutching his stomach with an arrow stuck into it. This one's not dead, but he's down on his knees and there's quite a bit of blood. It nearly seems like the elf is taunting you. This invisible elf from the shadows somewhere. That was their turn. Bragan, your turn.
Can I reach one of the elves? The elf on the western side?
No, you're on Eastern side, so you'd
Eastern
have to run
side, yeah.
all around to get to him. That would be like 5 movement actions or something to get to him. The
Yeah,
closest
okay.
elf or the closest elf that you can reach without leaping off down into the night is the one that is fighting Fells. That would take you about maybe 3 movement actions to get to him.
Can I still try to gather information about them?
Certainly. Oh, actually, you failed, so no, not really. You can't just keep rolling until you succeed.
No, I'm not sure because it says I can gather.
Yeah, I know, but like if you keep rolling until you succeed, then the whole purpose of having a stat to roll against is defeated because you'll succeed eventually by pure mathematics.
Yeah.
Would it work if he got new information about him? Like he saw them?
Yeah, exactly. You get more information.
Yeah, I need to do something before being able to roll. Okay. Say attacks the western. I'll move. How far am I from the southern wall?
From the southern wall?
Yeah.
About 3 movement actions.
I'll move towards it.
Okay, so you can use 2 actions to move, basically. If you're not doing anything else, you're just running along the wall towards Fels and the elf that he's fighting.
Yeah, trying to keep cover.
All right. Fels, you're up.
Okay. And I almost somberly attack back, but it is still with purpose as I attack my foe. A 12 hit, my normal is 15. Is it worse than a -3?
-3, yes.
It meets then, if that's the case.
All right, go for it.
And I dealt 6 damage this time.
Oh, shit. He looks very badly injured now. As you stab him in the stomach, he stumbles back, hardly holding on.
And once again, I'm like, why are you fighting? Let's like, go, leave. I do not wish to fight you.
Is that what you're saying to him?
That is what I said when I struck. I'm like, please go. I do not wish to fight you.
Aki, you're up next.
All right, roll to maintain. Succeed, and again, I'll try to cast Brimstone. This time I succeed.
You are keeping track of your corruption, yeah?
Yes, this will be 4.
All right.
And I roll 3 damage.
Okay, that does not impress him too much. The elves. The one elf fighting you, Fels, looks at you for a second. You can see your own reflection in the firelight that sort of reflects against his nearly black, big eyes. And then he gives a slight nod and leaps down over the wall. You can attack him if you want. Oh, shit, I skipped you once more. I don't know why this keeps happening. Sorry, Dimian. Anyway, go ahead. What do you want to do?
Again, I'm trying to find elves.
Okay. One more vigilance check.
Hey, I did it. I got a 3.
You see an elf sort of crouching down behind a fallen tree, one of the logs that they have cut down, only about maybe 7-8 yards away from the wall. He's just calmly notching arrow after arrow and shooting at the people on the wall. Doesn't look like this one's about to make any type of melee attack or try to climb onto the wall or something. He seems quite happy.
Okay, I'm gonna draw my sword and point it at him and say "there" to all the guys around me. And then can I try to scare him too? Like, and just say, "I'm gonna cut you."
He
If
does
I can
not seem to react to that much.
Okay.
The 2 of the guys, however, did now see him and will throw javelins at him. And one of them will actually hit. But it looks like the elf sort of blocks the javelin out of the air and hardly takes any damage. Just a little bit of blood down his arm. As I said, elf's turn. So one of the elves, the one that's heavily injured, leaps down and starts running away into the night. You can take an attack of opportunity if you wish, Fels.
So as I see my opportunity as he leaps over, I actually pull away, as I'm like, my job is not to kill these people. It's simply to defend a child.
Right.
So as a person please, I pull back and do not take that opportunity.
Yeah, Bragon, you can see this. He's clearly letting the elf go as you are running towards the elf, trying to get to him with his axe. Okay, then we have the confused elf. Let's see what he's doing. Aki, roll me a d6.
Oh, sorry. He attacks his enemy. Roll the 4. Roll
Okay, so
attack an ally.
Ally, once more. Okay. Yeah, for once he does actually hit, and that is a 3 points of damage to the same the elf that was at demon. So the demon, the guy you saw, takes an arrow in the side. It doesn't go in very deeply, but he and looks up at somewhere to the left. It looks like the elves have started shooting each other for some reason. They're going crazy. They must be crazy with bloodlust or something. You're not sure.
Demon is confused.
Yes, you're not the only one. And that elf will leap up, look over, and then taking a shot at you, start retreating. So Damien, give me a defense check. -5.
You're gonna hit, and I'll roll my armor.
Yep.
8 on the armor.
Once again, the arrow just shatters on your armor. These puny arrows are no match for your steely plate. All right, so we had 3, and one more arrow now coming at Bragan from the darkness as you're running along the wall. Roll me a defense check with a -3.
No, pass.
What do you roll?
I rolled a 3.
Yeah, that's good enough. You duck under the arrow, shoots across. And that was the elf's turn. Bragan.
I'll try to see where that arrow is coming from.
Yep.
-1 still. I succeed with a 1.
You follow the path of the arrow and see an elf about 20 yards away from you on the edge of the forest, calmly notching another arrow and aiming it at you.
I'll break line of sight.
So you just throw yourself down, basically. All right.
Yeah. I'm still waiting for nerve to come so I can use my great axe.
Dimian.
So the one I pointed out is running away now, or did he jump up?
He's retreating. He's not like running away, but he's retreating away from the wall.
Okay. I'm gonna turn back and look at the house with the kid, the hall, and just double check that real quick. Make sure nothing's going on over there.
From what you can see, it seems fine. There's no elves inside the village.
Okay. And then I'll just look out, keep scanning for more elves, I guess.
So you see there's one elf on the western wall. He already finished off one of the villagers, now fighting another one, and one of the Black Cloaks men who's sort of swinging a short sword at him, trying to hit him.
Well, then he'll start going that way then.
Okay, you can do that.
Yep.
Fels, you're up.
All right, as this elf just recently just jumped back over the palisade, I quickly glance to see if there's any other elves near me and or within my bow reach. Do I see anything?
Go for it. Vigilance check.
I made it, actually. Nice. Yes, I saw something. But
Okay, you see an elf to your left, about maybe 30 yards away or so, who was shooting at Bragan. Bragan fell, or well, dropped down basically behind the edge of the palisade, got out of sight, and the elf is now looking for new targets. And you're the closest.
Can I quickly just drop my spear, pick up my bow, and aim at the foe 30 yards away?
You can, yes.
And fire. I wish to do so. As
All
I
right.
look at the scroll once again, it's not with hatred or malice or anything. It's just a job. There's a 9 hit. I'm normally a 15 a hit, but I don't know.
Yeah, it does hit.
Minus. Okay, it's a D8. 3 damage.
Okay. He doesn't seem particularly impressed, and he pretty much lets his arrow fly at the same moment as yours hits him. But Aki is up at the same moment. Once more, holding the confusion.
Yep. I'm gonna try succeed, and I'm gonna try to hit him again with brimstone.
Sure.
-3. I fail, so 1d6 for 4.
What does the confusion do?
It's just a spell that he can use to confuse opponents. Now, roll the confusion to see what's happening with that elf.
4 again. Attack an ally.
Okay. And oh, actually, no. Once again, he shoots the already retreating fella on the north side of the wall. Then we have one arrow going the way of Feltz.
Oh no.
-5.
I wish to try to. Holy crap. 13 does not make it.
All right, roll your armor.
3.
You take 2 points of damage.
Okay. So as it hits me, it's definitely hits my leg as I try to move out of the way, but unfortunately, it definitely grazes me.
Yeah, you hit each other pretty much at the same time. 2 arrows sort of passed each other and struck flesh. All right, so that was 1 elf, 2 elves. A retreating elf will fire 1 more shot at Dimian, who's sort of running along the wall now.
He's gonna hit, but my armor is 7, so.
Yeah, so once more, nothing.
Plate armor.
Gotta give me some of that armor.
Gotta be rich. Be a noble, man. That's it.
That ain't happening as a changeling.
Right, okay, so you, however, Dimian, now also see one of the elves has made it over the wall and is now appearing in the streets underneath you on the sort of the northeastern side of the village. So sort of light on the left side behind you, and he's sort of chasing one of the heavily injured villagers who's running towards the hospital.
So as I'm running towards the elf on the western wall, I'm gonna shout, see if I can get the big ogre's attention. I'm gonna shout and point at it. Elf over there on the northeast side. I'm gonna try and shout towards
He just started running in that direction.
and then I'm gonna keep running towards the one on the western side.
All right, Bregan, you're up next.
I'll keep my position still in cover, trying to see if there's anyone else.
1 more vigilance check.
No, that's a fail.
Okay, you're just like, look up and an arrow flies past you and you like go back down without looking around too much.
Doing fine, it's nice.
Dimian, you continue running, I assume, yeah?
Running until I can hit something.
Yeah, so you are, if you move double movement, actually, yeah, you can attack the elf.
Oh, well then he's gonna get smacked by a sword.
Go for it. His defense is a -3.
I rolled below. So yeah, I made it.
All right, so you leap past the mercenary with the short sword and bring down your great sword onto the elf.
Baby. That's 12 damage.
Holy crap. And as the elf, who's already been slightly injured by the short sword, crawls around and brings up his spear to parry, you cut through his spear and through his head with the same strike.
Then I just kind of kick him off my sword. I look at the mercenary. That's how it's done.
He looks. You nod. Okay, Fels, you're up next.
I quickly glance over the palisade to see if any other elves are climbing up right next to me.
Go for it.
I actually see something, maybe, if there's anything.
No elves to be seen, no. You get the feeling that there are not actually that many elves out there. Maybe like 6 or 7 at the most.
Okay. I definitely noticed the one that fired the shot at me, and as I quickly glanced over, I draw my bow back and once again, with a little bit of sadness, I fire back. Hitting with a 2.
No, yeah, go for it.
And dealing 4 damage.
All right. He's still standing.
And as I do this, I'm wondering, it's like, why is this happening? Like, this is odd.
Aki, you're up next.
All right, roll to maintain. I fail on the maintain.
Oh, finally, he's no longer confused.
I can feel like the corruption building inside of me, but I got to take care of this. So, I hit.
Okay.
For. Ooh, there we go. 11 damage.
Yeah. So he shakes off the confusion, looks up just in time to see this massive lance of flame descending on his face, and just falls over, burning and smoldering.
Just a sigh of relief. I don't know how much more I can do.
All right, that was Aki's turn. So the elf that was shooting at Fels will take one last shot and then run backwards into the forest.
Okay.
He doesn't want to
risk the shot goes through the air.
-5.
My defense is 16. Oh Jesus! It hits just barely.
Right. Roll armor.
All right. As this arrow hits me I had 2 for armor.
2 armor, 3 damage.
Yeah. Okay.
One last shot, that elf retreats back into the forest.
I feel it definitely in my shoulder as it comes in, and I kind of grimace, but not out loudly to show my feelings.
All right, so we have, let's see, 1, 2 elves left, from the looks of it at the moment. One of them fighting Roughneck now. And, stabbing the ogre. But the ogre doesn't seem particularly impressed by the spear. It just grunts briefly. All right. Fels, your turn.
My turn already? Okay.
Yes.
I look around and I try to make sure that like the court.
Oh, sorry.
God
damn it! I keep forgetting.
Yeah.
Actually, Reagan's turn. I don't know what's going on tonight. Sorry, guys.
Sorry.
Scared, man.
All right, so I can only see the one that's fighting Roughneck, right? The other one I couldn't see, or is there another one on the wall?
Yeah, exactly. You only see that one, and even that one you don't really see. It's more like you know that he's there because you can hear the combat. There's a building between you.
Okay, I'll just head that way anyways.
Okay, so you jump off the wall and start running towards that. Yeah. All right.
Yep.
Reagan, you also had a turn that I skipped.
Yeah. Do I need to make another vigilance check to see if the elf I saw is still there?
Which elf you saw? Oh,
southern side.
So what do you want to do? So you want to look outside or inside the village?
Outside.
Okay, go for it.
One dice. I succeed.
You look and you just see one elf running away into the forest. That's the other. If there was other elves, they're no longer there.
I'll keep my position on the wall.
Okay. Okay, so. Fels, now it's your turn.
Do I see any elf within range, or are they all gone from my point of view, from the south side of the wall?
You see one elf fighting Roughneck, the
Okay.
ogre.
Is it
He's
probably too
inside.
far for me to fight?
You can take a shot at him if you want. Sure.
Okay, I would like to take a shot. Does I presume a 6 hit out of 15?
Yes, it does.
Okay. I see this elf fighting Roughneck, and when I fire my bow, it seems to be a clean hit of 7.
7, nice.
And when it goes into the foe, I kind of once again quickly glance over the palisade to see if there's any more elves coming.
Okay. Give me a defense check, Felth, please.
Okay. 16 of my defense of 16. If there's any
Okay.
modifiers.
You feel something sharp piercing your back. Ah! Roll armor.
3.
Okay, you take 4 points of damage. As something rips through you, it sort of flies off into the night, leaving behind quite a severe trickle of blood. Some sort of arrow or javelin or something. You're not sure where it came from. Somewhere from within the village.
From within the village, not outside the palisade.
Yeah, it hit you in the back. You were like looking over the wall.
Yeah.
So
Roughneck is fighting someone over the wall?
The other side.
Okay.
It must have come from somewhere within the village.
Okay.
Aki, your turn.
All right, so I turn around and I just like cursory glancing if anything else is going on behind me.
Okay, so you're looking into the village.
Yeah, into the village and other parts of the wall, trying to just get my bearings.
Vigilance check.
Fail.
You hear combat noises and like people shouting and running around about elves and like blood and like just screams of pain and fear. People have lost their head quite significantly, the villagers. A lot of them have taken arrows. Not many of them have died from what you have seen, but a lot of them are injured. And just chaos. You don't know what's going on, like where enemies are or anything. Do you want to do anything else?
I'll climb down from there and make my way onto like the ground level.
Okay. As you come down, you just see Roughneck grabbing an elf and pushing him up and then smacking him down to the ground, and then smacking him 1, 2, 3 times, and the elf just broken-faced stops moving. And
I'm in awe, but amazement at the same, like scared and amazed at the same time.
All right, that was that elf gone. Reagan.
Guessing there's no other elf in the forest, I'll move towards a commotion at the center of the village.
Okay. Climbing down the wall.
Yep.
Dimian, you are also running towards the center of the village, and you just basically also caught sight of Roughneck pummeling one of the elves into the ground and just destroying him.
I get a slight smile at that.
What do you want to do?
So I missed. I wasn't there. You said there was some sort of commotion going on. Something out somewhere else.
I mean, there's still shoutings and screams and stuff going on. You don't see any more arrows flying at the moment, but you're not sure.
Okay, since I got to the center of the village and I'm by the hall, I just kind of do a quick 360, try to see if I can see anything going on.
Certainly, yeah.
Oh, actually, yeah, 3. So,
Okay.
yeah.
Looking around, the only elf you can see is the dead one that's next to Roughneck's feet. However, you do also hear a shrill whistle. You look up, and you can see the Black Cloak, Jacopo's up on the roof with his fingers in the mouth, and he is pointing down at something to your left.
Can I turn and look, or?
You follow, and he seems to be pointing at Aki.
Okay. Is that my whole turn then?
That is your turn, pretty much, yeah.
Okay.
Roughneck looks up, looks to Aki and says, "Sorry." Runs at you and swings the cleaver. That is a attack with -5.
Oh. I pass.
You see this massive ogre coming, and you leap to the side as the cleaver flies through the air, but he turns the cleaver around and hits you, tries to hit you with the pommel for a second strike. So that's another defense check with -5.
Pass again.
All right, but you dodged that one as well. And he's just towering above you, with his face filled with battle fury. That was that turn. We have a Phelps. You're up next.
Would I have seen the action where the black cloak at the top of the building pointing towards that key, and then the ogre?
No, you didn't see that happening, but you definitely saw a roughneck, or well, right now actually, you're turning, following this bellowing, and like looking for more elves, and you see Aki, who kind of looks like an elf, but has clearly different clothing and armor,
Right,
to the side and just barely dodging 2 swings from Roughneck the Ogre.
Okay. My character is seeing that Aki is being attacked. Like, I know that Aki is an ally. Like, I try to defend my allies, and I take a bow. But the fact that this is like a giant ogre, I quickly, from my chest, there is a vial. I coat it over a piece of the arrow, and I let that arrow fly.
What are you using?
I have poisoner.
Right. Is that an action?
Actually, it might be. Hold on, let me check.
I think it might be an action. You also have to roll. I think you might have to roll a cunning check or something like that.
It says that as a free action, I
free
apply
action.
1 dose of poison
Yes.
to any elixir or weapon, enough for 1 hit before with a poison must.
Are you?
So-
what level of poisoner do you have?
I have novice.
All right. So you have to roll a successful cunning check to apply the dose.
Okay. I succeeded.
All right. You applied, and it's a free action, so you can take a shot. Go for it.
All right, and does an 11 hit? My ability is 15. I don't know.
His defense is +1.
Oh, okay. As the arrow sinks in, the poisoned arrow sinks in, does 7 damage again.
Yeah. All right.
And then it needs a cunning over strong to take effect, it says.
All right. His strong is 15, so that's a -5 for your.
Poison is 10, so my... You said it's -5?
-5.
So what happens again if it meets? I forget exactly what it does. I'm sorry.
Meat is successful, so the poison
Okay.
takes effect.
Okay, it does take effect then. Yes.
The ogre lets out a
Once
shout.
again, so 7 from the arrow, and then another 2 poison unmitigated.
Right.
And that lasts for, it says D4 rounds.
Yes, D4.
3 rounds.
Actually, I
more.
think it's last
Or do you
to
roll for that?
fail a check or something like that.
Oh, I thought it was D4
Poisoned
rounds.
until the character fails a cunning versus strong test, but it's always poisoned for at least 1 turn. So the 4 rounds is just the maximum duration, basically.
Oh, okay, so it's a maximum of 3 rounds. But I still got to make a test.
Yes, every turn. Well, not
Okay.
attacks. It's in his system now, so you have to roll to see if he shakes it off, basically, every turn.
Okay.
And it lasts at least 1 turn, but a maximum of 3.
Okay, all right.
And then I think stronger poisons last longer or something like that.
Yeah, they last longer and hit harder.
All right.
Eventually, I'll get there.
Roll me a defense check, Fels, with a where is he? -4.
I succeed with a perfect 1.
You look up and you see a crossbow bolt flying towards your face. You leap to the side and
Is it thrown?
flies past, disappearing.
As I leap from the side, do I see where it comes from?
Yes, it came from Jacopo the Black Cloak on the top of the roof.
Okay.
Aki, you're up.
All right. I can feel myself pushing myself beyond my limits, but when I have this big hulking thing in front of me, I need to defend myself, and I try to roll for confusion.
All right.
What's his resolute?
That's a good question. Probably not very strong. Give me a second.
Hey, Alex, did I get skipped again?
No, actually, you did not.
Okay.
This time, no. His resolute is a 11, actually, so not that bad. -1.
I pass.
All right. So you see Roughneck's massive features twisting into this skull.
And I can feel the corruption taking over me, and I take 3 permanent corruption.
Oh shit! You have breached your corruption threshold. Okay.
Yep.
You feel the corruption seeping into you, and there's this curling pain like nettles running all over the back on your shoulders. All right, that was Aki's turn. Bragan, you see as you leap down and moving towards the center, from amongst the buildings to your left, a single elf appearing, looking around with a small smile on his face, and then shooting you in yours with an arrow.
Okay.
That is a defense check at -5.
1, succeed.
You see it coming and duck and arrow flies past.
Can I
All
reach
right.
him?
Yes, you can. And it's your turn now.
Okay. I get to use my double axe.
You can, yes. His defense is a -3.
Okay.
I don't know what your accurate is.
Get him. Come on. You can do it.
Nope.
I believe you have 200 force on adept level, yes?
Mm-hmm.
Yes, so now you can make us, because you missed your main swing with your great axe, you can now do the same thing that Roughneck did. He has ability. So you now try to hit him with a pommel as like on the return, basically. You can do another attack.
That's a hit.
That hits, all right. And roll, I believe that does less damage though. Let's see.
I've lost it.
Where is it? Oh, there it is.
1d8.
Yes, indeed.
Eight.
Wow, okay. On the backswing, you smash the heft of your axe into the elf's face. He stumbles backwards, spitting out blood. Dimian.
So I was right next to Roughneck when he attacked Aki, right?
You weren't right next to him. You were like down the road from him, but you saw.
But I saw it. So I'm going to try and run up, and can I get in front of Aki and then hit Roughneck?
You'd have to use 2 movement actions to get to them.
Okay, so I wouldn't be able to...
On the other side of the square, basically, as this was happening.
Okay, so I wouldn't be able to attack if I got there?
No. But you
Okay.
can pose yourself in between him and Aki if you want to, yeah.
Okay, but then I didn't see anything else, though, right? I just saw that. So
Yeah, that's pretty much the only thing you saw.
okay, then I'm just going to run to that and put myself in front of Aki, and then I'll just look up at Roughneck and say, Roughneck, stop! You don't have to do this!
Roughneck is just like, "Grr." You see this confused look in his eyes and a little bit of like slime or saliva running out of over his thick lips. Let's see. As 2 of the mercenaries of the Black Cloaks mercenaries are also closing in the central scene with their shields out, their short swords drawn, and they are running towards you. They can't quite get there this turn. You're not quite sure what they're going to do, but you're definitely ready to fight. Then we have Roughneck. Let's see what Roughneck does. 1d6, please.
He acts normally.
So he attacks the closest enemy, which is Dimian. Roughneck brings down his cleaver onto you. That is a -5 attack.
Doesn't matter, I dodged it, even as fat as I am.
He also uses the pommel of the cleaver to strike at you as you dodge the first one. That's another -5 attack.
Still made it.
Okay.
5.
Blocking and weaving and ducking out of the way of this massive ogre swings. All right, that turn is over. We have Felth. You're up next.
All right, I see the black oak on top of the building in the middle. Can I like find a building to slide behind and get cover so I don't get fired from arrows behind?
You'd have to get down from the wall to do that, but yes, you can if you want to do that. Yes.
Okay, I would definitely like to do that as I've been shot. I feel myself kind of being drained fully of like my vigor. I am definitely not feeling well, so I definitely would get into cover.
Okay.
I need to check anything.
No, you can do that without checking. You will need your whole turn to do it, like jump off the wall and run and press this
Okay.
on the side of a building. However, your poison is still in effect, so roll me a cunning -5. If Roughneck keeps taking.
I make it and sit that just barely.
All right, so he takes down
And another D4 of 4.
4 damage. All right. Yeah,
And
Roughneck.
once again, before I left, I grabbed my spear as I was just about to lift and dropped down from the palisade and got behind the building for cover.
All right. That was Fel's. Jacopo's turn. He will, well, Fels is no longer to be seen, so he's looking for a new target. He will shoot at Aki.
All right, so minus.
Can I bodyguard it?
Yeah, let me see if bodyguard works on ranged attacks. Blows. It doesn't say you can't, so yeah, if you want to, you have to roll a resolute check. What level do you have bodyguard on?
Bodyguard is at 1.
So novice, okay. So roll a resolute check.
Okay. I make it.
All right, so you take the arrow, the crossbow. However, it does hit you automatically.
Yep, I just roll armor.
Exactly.
Okay, well I rolled 8 on the armor.
Okay, well that's just another thing that shatters across your armor.
It's going to get scratched.
Is it like your armor that's protecting you, or is it like your shield skills? What is it about you
it's
and
just,
the protection?
It's just having nice armor, that's it.
He just has like really heavy armor, so it's just everything's shattering against his armor, not able to pierce it. Okay.
I have a D10 for my armor, and I just keep rolling good.
Yep, exactly. Aki, your turn.
All right, I'll roll to maintain.
Yeah.
And you said he had 11, correct?
Yes, so -1.
I pass, barely.
He's still confused.
And do I see like the people on top of the roof, or you said there's 2 people running? Are they running towards us?
Yes, 2 mercenaries closing in on you.
All right, I will do 1 movement back, and I know I'm pushing myself, but I'm gonna cast Brimstone right at those 2.
Well, one of them, right?
Yeah, sorry, one of them.
They're coming from different directions. Like one of them coming from your right, and one of one's coming from straight ahead.
All right. What is their quick?
Let me see. Their quick is 13 actually. So -3.
Sorry, I succeed.
All right.
And I'll be going to the one on the left.
Okay.
For 12 damage.
Oh, shit. Okay, well, he has an armor of 2, so he takes 10, which kills him instantly. You just see one of them coming. You're not even sure what he's going to do, but you're not going to find out.
And because I'm an adept, I can continue to new targets. So I want to shift it to the one on the right coming towards us.
Yep.
Succeed with a 2 for 7 damage.
Okay, well, this one's still alive, but hurt.
And I'm going to go at our big hulking ogre in front of us as well.
Can you ricochet 3 times? More than 1?
Yeah, it says until I fail.
Okay.
What was his quick?
His quick is also 13.
That one I fail. So a D6 for 1. So.
Okay, he does not. He seems impressed by that.
I'm just looking like even more drained.
All the corruption.
Yep.
All right, that was Aki. We have one elf who drops his bow and takes a stab with his spear into Bregan's face or chest. Bregan, one attack with a -1, please. Do you succeed? I can't hear you. You're muted if you're talking.
I think you're accidentally muted.
Ah, he does not succeed. Okay, roll armor.
1d4. 2.
You take 2 points from the elf's spear as the tip slashes into your ribs, drawing a bloody line. The elf will leap backwards, get out of your combat range. He's holding a spear between you and him. Bregan, your turn.
I will move toward him.
Okay. He will attack you instantly as soon as you enter his range. Spear lashing out. That's a special ability thing that he has.
-1.
-1.
5 is good.
You block
I
it.
succeed.
All right. Now you can attack him.
And
His defense is -3.
yeah, both failed.
You swing,
15 and 19.
and he just weaves and ducks and leaps back and still alive. Dimian.
All right, so I'm gonna look up at the ogre, and I'm just gonna kind of shake my head, sorry friend, and just give him a love tap.
All right. His defense is +1.
Oh wow, okay. Yeah, I hit him. Let me see damage. 9 damage.
All right. Oof, that nearly kills him. His slash into his side, ribs break. He goes down into like one knee, barely holding up. Okay, we have the one mercenary. Will go straight for Aki, who was hitting him.
Bodyguard.
You can only bodyguard. No, I mean, all right. Just be aware, you can only use bodyguard once per. Oh, actually, no, you can't. In Symbaroum, you can use an infinite amount of reactions. Okay, in that case, roll me a resolute check.
You have to tie it, right?
Yes.
I made it, just barely.
Then you can take the hits. Roll armor.
Okey-dokey. Oh, maybe. Hold on. Sorry, I'm using an app.
That's fine.
Oh, not so great this time. Just a 7.
Okay. That was that.
I want that app, whatever it is.
Roughneck is still confused and severely injured. So let's see with a 1d6.
He attacks an ally.
Okay, so luckily an ally has just moved into position. It's that new guy, that new mercenary that ran in, half burned by your scorching fire. And Roughneck misses, however. He's too heavily injured. Swings the cleaver. The mercenary, his eyes go wide. He sees it coming and nearly drops down onto the ground as the cleaver cuts the air above his head. That was Roughneck's turn. We have Feltz. Roll me for the poison.
13. Does that hit when my cutting's 15?
No, -5.
I don't remember strong.
He shakes
-5. Okay, it does not.
Stay alive. Otherwise, the poison would have killed him. Roughneck is not looking. He's looking rough.
As I'm down on the ground, I'm behind a building. I'm fairly wounded. Like I stow my bow, and I get my spear out, and I peek around the corner of a building, trying to get a better idea of like the battlefield of what's going on.
You see,
I am
not far from you, about maybe 5-6 yards away. You see Bregan and one of the elves sort of circling each other, and you hear further within the village, but you're not sure what exactly is going on there.
Okay, I would go around the other side of the building, once again, trying to get an idea of the whole entire surrounding, and leave myself definitely in the protection of the building. I'm staying close and huddled to it, as I've been definitely hit with a few arrows.
All right. Crossbow bolts, in fact, but yeah.
Well, I do believe it.
Oh,
Arrows,
yes, you're right.
and a crossbow bolt.
By multiple.
Yeah.
You're right. You're hit by multiple things.
Yeah.
Okay. Let's see. Dimian, you look up to see what Jacopo is doing, to see if he's shooting at Aki once more. But this time, Jacopo is just staring at you. He's reloading his crossbow, but his eyes are staring at yours. And you feel something cold shooting through the air between you, coming from his eyes into yours. And you feel your whole brain tingling and everything sort of starting to go blurry. Give me a resolute check with a -2. Don't know what you said.
You can do it.
Barely made it. I got a 9, so my resolute was 11, so -2. Yeah, so I made it.
That is a success. Whatever it is, whatever weird effect the Black Cloak is trying to lay on you, you shake your head and it's gone.
I want that app.
And you can see him just
Not
cursing.
when you're playing D&D.
Okay.
Good point.
Aki, your turn.
All right, as I taste like sulfur in my mouth growing stronger, I like reach my hand towards the mercenary to the right, trying to hit him with another flame. And I succeed for 1 damage.
Okay, that's nothing.
And then I'm gonna bounce it straight ahead.
Just a quick question.
Yeah,
How many corruption points do you have now?
I am at 8. I will be 9 with this corruption.
Your permanent corruption to that as well?
You only take permanent corruption when you go over your threshold for a seed.
Exactly. Yes, I know.
Oh, my total though is 12.
Yeah, that's what I was asking. Okay,
Yeah.
cool.
So I'm gonna try to bounce it to the ogre.
Really want that.
Maybe. And I succeed for 12 damage.
Oh shit. Okay. So you shoot your flames into this mercenary. He brings up his shield. It bounces off. You twist it to the side, and it takes Roughneck straight on the face and just burns away his face and his chest. And it's just a cut short as the smoke and the flame enter his mouth, and he just falls to the side.
Am I able to direct it up on top of the roof?
No, you cannot see the Black Cloak at the. He has gone.
All right.
That was Aki's turn. The elf stabbing at Bragan. -1.
That's a 2. That's a success.
All right, and he once more leaps out of range, keeping his spear between you, daring you to come at him.
Once more, I come at him.
Okay, 1 more attack against you.
5. That's a success.
You dodge out of the way.
And now I fail. The
-3.
axe fails, but the pommel succeed.
All right. Once more, he leaps to the side as your axe, but then the backside hits him straight in the solar plexus. Roll damage.
That's a 3.
Okay, just a little bit. Pushing it back, but he's still standing. Dimian.
So after the Black Cloak tried to cast some evil magic on me, I just kind of get mad. I see Roughneck die, and I don't really think this mercenary is a big deal, so I just start charging towards the building.
All right. The mercenary, he will give you an attack of opportunity as you run past him.
Okay.
Because he was really ranged with you. So roll me -3.
-3?
Defense, yes.
Okay, so yeah, he misses.
Okay, you block his blade with your short sword. You block his short sword with your buckler and run into towards the building, moving twice. 2 to the door.
Okay.
All right. Well, the mercenary now left alone with Aki will stab him. Try to stab him before he's burned. Just like his eyes wide in panic. -3, Aki.
right, what is it? 15, I think. Yep. I pass.
All right. What do you have? A staff or something?
I have my robe with a buckler.
Oh, a buckler. Okay. So you bring up a buckler and block his short sword. He curses and his eyes go wide. Roughneck is dead. So that was the end of the turn. We have Fels.
All right. I understand the situation. I quickly glance over. I see Roughneck fall to the ground, and I don't see anybody else in the courtyard area. Is that correct?
Well, you see Dimian running at the door of the
Right.
of the hall, but no enemies at the moment. No. Well, actually,
Okay.
you kind of see a mercenary fighting Aki, but the mercenary looks kind of heavily injured already.
Okay. And Aki, does he seem injured from my perspective or not?
Is he injured?
A little bit, but not too much.
Right.
Okay. I see Damien running out the door. I run with Damien, and I take my last vial of poison, and I just, like, when running at him, I look at him, and he just sees me, like, coat the very tip of the blade of my spear with this poison. And as I look at him, and it's just like a nod of, like, understanding that we have been backstabbed by these people.
Roll me a cunning check to see if you can successfully apply the poison.
All right, I got a 15 out of 15, unless there's a difficulty or something.
No difficulty. Straight up.
Okay.
So
Then I'm in.
your evil spear is now also coated with poison to make it a bit more evil.
Yeah, evil is relative. I don't see this as evil.
Yeah, I know. Okay.
But yes, I would run towards the door with Damien.
Okay. Aki, your turn next.
All right. I'm just feeling like deeper taste of sulfur and the burning feeling as I like take a step back and try to blast him. And what was the modifier for him? Minus 3. I fail.
He leaps to the side, and the flame shoots past.
But I
preserving
catch him
his-
for 5.
Well, that still hurts. He has 2 armor. Yeah, he's not looking good, even with that, even with dodging.
And I spend a movement turn, just like I turn my back and just like trying to get out of there.
Okay. The elf. You know the drill? Reagan, stab and leap out of the... No, he does not manage to leap away this time, though. But he still takes an attack against you.
4 success.
You dodge, and this time you leash out with the fist and grab him by the arm as he tries to leap back, and are sort of holding him now, just releasing just in time to bring down your own axe.
Both failed.
Oh, come on, you got the worst luck.
Dimian.
Play D&D.
Yeah, door's just gone off the hinges as I.
All right.
And I'm just storming up the stairs.
All right.
Getting-
Two movements, one through the thing, and then starting to run up the stairs, basically.
Yep. And I'm shouting
Okay.
for what's the kid's name? I know we wrote it down. Cairo, something like that.
Cario.
Cario, that's right. Cario. Cario, we have to leave.
Okay. As you run up the stairs, or as soon as you like enter the stairs, you see that the black cloak Jacopo is like kneeling at the top of the stairs, aiming the crossbow down, and he will take a shot instantly at you as soon as you start running up the stairs, or as soon as you appear, really. So roll me a -4.
Oh my! If I was playing D&D, I'd die, but I made it. Said -4, so yeah, I rolled a 5.
Buckler's in the way. The bolt hits the buckler, and he instantly disappears out of view, basically retreating backwards into the tunnel, the hallway.
Okay.
Upstairs. Okay. We have the one last mercenary. He will not pursue Aki. He will run away himself. So you just cast a quick glance over your shoulder, Aki. The mercenary's not running after you. He is instead just running away, disappearing between the buildings, trying to get away. He's not keen.
I just ignore him completely and relieve.
Okay, Fels, you're up next.
All right, I follow behind Damien, once again with my spear in hand, and a bit of like questioning hatred. The fact that I've been shot at from the back behind people that like I took as my allies. I go behind Damien, and as I look into the room, do I see anything else of note?
So you can cross the common room, which is empty, and you can just start going up the stairs. That's all you can do. You can now or just see the stairs, and then sort of the top of the start of this sort of courtyard, not courtyard, the hallway that's on the top.
Okay. I'll stop right beside Damien. I'll be like, okay. I'll run right behind Damien, and I'm like, once again, my spear will be to his right, and I'll be like, I'll be your spear behind you. Leave with your shield. I'll follow you.
All right.
And I'm like, we'll take this traitor down together. And that is my turn. Because I am not going to go in front of the giant metal shield.
Well done. Aki, your turn.
All right, so I look around. Do I see anybody else that I've been traveling with?
Yes, you see Bragan fighting this elf.
I just like I try to look for like a corner or a dark spot just to kind of like hold up till like the commotion dies.
You can, if you want to. No one's focusing on you at the moment.
Yeah, I feel like I can't push myself much more at all.
You feel the darkness. It's spilling out of your pores. You can feel this nearly like some sort of liquor or some sort of liquid sort of gathering at the back of your throat, and you realize that you're so close that you've never been before. The corruption is there. It's just waiting and a little bit more, and it might burst forth and consume you.
I can taste it in the back of my throat, all over my body.
Okay. Well, Bragan, you know the drill. One more stab with a spear. And once more, the elf leaps out of range after that.
That hits.
Roll armor.
Yeah, you got it.
1.
You take 3 damage. As the elf stabs you in the shin. You feel the blade of his spear sort of scraping along your bone. And leaps backwards, ripping it out once more.
The 1 for the armor for getting in. So I succeed.
All right.
Okay, the axe succeed.
Finally.
For 4 points of damage.
4, 6, 7, 8, 9. No, he's still standing. All right, Dimian.
Following this guy. He's going to die.
Okay, so you run up, and what you see is the corridor, and you don't see a Jacopo the Black Cloak anywhere. You do see the last of his remaining mercenaries is standing in the doorway that leads into the room that you saw the kids in last. And
Okay.
he has his shield up and like a short sword in the other hand, just waiting there.
Okay, can I get to him and attack him, or did I use all my equipment?
Yes, you can. You can do that.
He's getting smacked in the face. Hopefully, we'll see.
Okay.
His defense?
His defense is -3
Okay, I miss anyways.
with a shield. Sorry?
I miss. I rolled a lot, so.
Okay, and you also have to relog once more because your audio is going crazy once more. Okay, well, the mercenary will strike back at Dimian, who is gone at the moment, so we'll do that later. And then something else is going to happen. It's also against Dimian, so we have to wait until he comes back. So, Luke, you there? Hello? Okay, well, let's do the elf battle instead. Bragan, Roll me a defense check.
-1.
-1, yes.
Okay, succeeded.
Okay, and he does not manage to get away. Once more, you manage to stick to him as he
Okay.
tries to twitch out acrobatically.
The bat succeeded.
You
Okay.
got him. You got him.
7.
Okay, with that,
Go.
you finally get to him. He ducks under your axe. He leaps up, ready to basically pierce his spear into your chest, but he misses the pommel and it just breaks through his skull. And the last elf in the village falls. Okay. Luke, you there? Okay. Awkward. So we'll have to wait until he's back.
Take a little break. Like a 3 minute.
I suppose we'll have a 2-minute break. Hopefully, he'll be back soon.
I'll be right back.
Oh, there you are. So, bad things are happening.
Okay.
So what happens? You run in, you swing your blade at the mercenary who blocks it with his shield, and he will strike back at you. And at the same time, you hear movement behind you. You turn around, you turn your head, and you see the door behind you opening to one of the other rooms, and Jacopo jumping out, wielding 2 short swords, and taking 2 stabs in your back.
Okay, so three.
Yes. So first against the mercenary, that's a -3 defense roll.
Okay, he hits.
Okay, roll the armor.
A 5.
Okay, that's enough.
Okay.
And then 2 against Jacopo, and that will be because he has advantage in the attack. That would be a -6 in total, both of them.
Okay. Well, one of them was a 1, so one of them made and one of them missed. So one of them hit.
One of them hits. Roll armor.
Okay. That's 4.
You take 5 points of damage.
Oh god dang. Guy can hit.
Yeah, he has backstab. Extra damage. He stabs you in the back, and you feel the short sword piercing through your armor, and blood starts pouring out as he rips out both his swords. And now we have Phil.
Wow.
So you run up the stairs, and you see basically Dimian bleeding now in between those 2. Jacob with 2 short swords, and the mercenary with shield and short sword.
Okay, so I see a mercenary with shield and a short sword, and I see the man in the giant black hat with 2 short swords just gutting Damien in front of me. The one with the 2 short swords, I immediately just respond. Once again, unlike the elves, where it was like a cold, calculated reaction, this one is almost with a bit of anger and hate. Does an 11 hit out of 50?
Yes, he has a -3 defense, so you hit him. Oh, that's gonna hurt.
Okay, so it is a bit of with a revenant strike and a poison. The poison I still have to roll for.
No, the first turn is automatic. You don't have to roll for the first turn.
Oh, okay. It hits 7 with the spear, 4 with the poison, and 2 with the revenant strike.
Oh my God, that's 7, 11, 13 total. Okay, so
And so I got a question. I know with players, when you hit their threshold,
Yes.
they have to make hard choices.
First
With NPCs,
is pain threshold, which means you can now do one or two of two things. Either you can knock him to the ground, or you can take another attack against him.
I would probably follow through and take another attack.
All right, you run up. Jacopo is so focused on Demian, he twists his swords, and you run up and you stab him in the side. Ah! He stumbles
And
backwards.
once again with the side, it's not so much as like a full pull out and pull. Just barely pull out, and then I attack again.
-3.
3 hopefully fucking hits. And deals another 3 from the spear and another 3 from the revenant strike. So another 6.
He is just barely alive. He's looking really bad.
And
blood
I'm
is
behind
pouring.
Damien, and once again, it's just like a picture of horror for me as I see someone that I feel has actually been a fairly upstanding person in front of me. It's just blood everywhere. I'm actually scared at this time. As I look at myself.
Aki, do you want to do anything?
No, I basically just like find a little corner and just slump down and like.
All right.
I've never been this corrupt. It's waiting for it to like release itself from my release its grasp.
Bragan.
Do I see any villagers?
Yes, there are several villagers milling around, looking confused and afraid, but the sounds of combat have quieted down, except for combat in the building itself, in the main hall.
I will try to more or less grab one and say, "What's happening there?"
I don't know. I don't know. Maybe the elf broke through.
I'll run towards that.
Okay.
Trying to ask around what's happening. Okay. That's my turn.
Damien, you're up next.
This man's getting gutted. Let me see. Well, maybe.
Which one are you attacking?
The black hat or black
All
cloak.
right, you turn and bring your sword down.
Baby with a 1.
Okay. Roll damage.
10 damage.
Okay, wow. Yeah, you turn around, he's already stumbling and reeling and bleeding, and you just slash diagonally across his body, cutting him open from shoulder to hip.
And then I'm going to follow it up with a stab too and lift him up a little bit.
Yeah, you lift him around, you push him against the wall. And just, his short swords drop, he grabs you by the shoulders. Slumping down.
And then I'm just gonna turn to the mercenary. Just run.
Yeah, he turns and runs down. If you guys want to leave him, he'll just run away down the stairs.
I'm gonna try and trip him just for fun.
He
I would
stumbles.
not let this one go by.
You're not going to let him go by? Then good. Do an
I would
opportunity.
not. 5 definitely hit.
Yep.
For an additional 7 damage.
7.
Is that guy right next to
5
me?
from the spirit, 2 from 7.
Could I bodyguard that guy?
Technically, I suppose.
I'm gonna do it.
Okay.
You take 7.
Well, if I
Not yet.
okay, so I make the resolute, and I roll a 5 for my armor.
So you take 2.
Okay.
And the guy runs
I'm
down.
looking at you so confused.
Okay. Down the stairs, Bragan, you're just running into the building, and you see one of the mercenaries coming down the stairs, looking super afraid. He looks at you and just pushes past you and runs out into the street. And well, with that, everything.
Would I see him from my position running out?
I suppose you would.
Then I would use like the little bit of energy I have left trying to hit him because I don't know what's going on inside.
Okay.
Any modifiers for resolute?
Resolute.
Or sorry, quick.
-3.
-3. I hit.
Okay.
for 12 damage.
Okay, he runs out, he looks around, and fire engulfs him and burns him alive. And villagers who have now seen this are terrified and just run away in all directions.
I just slump even like more down. Like I feel like I'm just about to give.
What's your corruption at the moment?
14 of 15.
Okay.
All right. So not knowing that this man was just killed, that I just tried to save his life.
You kind of hear like a really, really high-pitched, terrible scream of pain coming from downstairs.
God. So I just kind of, I'm not going to worry about that right now. I just kind of look at it. It was Fel, right? That's your name, Fel?
Yeah, fellas. I'm
I just kinda-
literally the one that like got you
Yeah, yeah.
squarely in the arm, and I'm like, why?
I just pull the javelin or the spear out and pat you on the shoulder. Yeah, and just enough blood has been shed. And I just give you a smile. Like, I understand, but we're good. And then I go
And it's
immediately
one of
to
these
find.
things that's like, if I thought at all that like the mercenary knew better, I might stab. But as it's one of these things, it's like I understand the fact that like some people just get caught up in the moment and orders and they don't know what's truly going on. And so I look at you and it's just like let's find him. That's all I say.
Yeah, so I go to the room where the kid was, and
Yeah,
look
you
for him.
find the girl Magdala and Cario, the boy, sort of clutching each other in a corner of the room, terrified, staring at the bright blood that's sort of slowly seeping into the room from the corridor.
Yeah, and I sheathe my sword and I walk in. There's a little bit of blood leaking out of my armor. I just give him a smile. See, I told you I'd keep you safe.
What happened?
Ugh.
The elves came back, yes?
We beat off the elves and we got rid of these men that were trying to take you captive. Come on, we're gonna take you to your uncle.
I need to talk to my mom. Is she all right?
We'll go find her right now. You too. I pulled my hand with both the kids. See if they come with me.
Hesitantly, but yeah, they don't want to stay in this. And they sort of stare wide-eyed at the bodies, or the body, actually. On
I actually put my hands around their eyes before we leave.
No, they're not going to do that. Let you do that.
Okay, well then I don't do that.
Or like you reach out and they like both.
I just kind of tell them, don't look when you get out there.
Okay. They try to sort of avert their eyes, but there's a lot of wounded people, and a lot of, several bodies burned and still burning. In fact, especially one of them is right in front of the door of the building, smoldering and smoke.
Perfect for children.
They're they're children in the world of Symbaroum, so they're not like completely unused to that sort of thing, but this is still pretty hardcore, especially the burned, blackened bodies. They're still sort of...
I see the mercenary I just tried to save on fire, and I just kind of shake my head.
Yep, he's pretty dead. All right, so
And
you...
as I follow them out, I look back at the body and I'm just like, what were you thinking, Tim, and letting him go? Really, I know you said not enough blood has been shed, but he betrayed you. And once again, when I say this, it's meant for him to hear, not so much the children around him.
Right.
And you just as a smile, like a passive smile.
And Bragan is standing there like super confused, probably.
Yeah. Okay, when you have time, you take 5 minutes to explain me what the god happened here.
I'll kind of look at you, Fel, and have you do it.
It's, you know what? I don't understand. I really don't understand.
Well,
I
they're dead.
I was attacked by an
see
elf,
that, but
and then one of the black cloaks, they fired at me from the top of the tallest building in this town. And then they started attacking all of us. They sent Leatherneck at a key, and they sent their henchmen at you. I just don't understand. What I do know is they attacked us. As much as the
Okay.
elves. I mean,
Yeah.
what did you see?
I crossed an elf, but if that's the attacks they were used to fight, it's nothing. They shoot accurately, but
But what?
it's barely anyone attacking this village.
All right, so Damien, you go
Man.
find Elinara, the mother, who is quite happy to see her son, and another woman who is also quite happy to see her daughter, and a man actually who is also there. Elinara is not too keen to let her son go, but after what you've done in the village, she can't really refuse it. She would like to, really. She would, but she can't. The other villagers are basically treating you as heroes, even though they are terrified of Aki and treat him basically as a monster just waiting to break out and devour them, which isn't that far off the truth at the moment, in fact. But they will let you stay the night, of course, and maybe another couple hours, and then you make your way back to Karos Fen, where a pretty awkward sort of family reunion, I suppose, will be happening, but that's none of your concern. You get paid, and Brother Pelio more or less pushes you out the door as after thanking you and giving you the money. And then you're standing there wondering what the hell happened and realizing that one of the mercenaries survived. So maybe there's a way to somehow gain answers or not. But this is where we will end tonight's one-shot of Symbaroum, Dying of the Light. Thank you guys for playing. I hope you had fun. That was a bit of a confusing, chaotic thing.
It was awesome.
Thank you. It was good.
Thank you.
You guys did pretty well, I have to say. All in all, you avoided one fight. You won another one without too many difficulties. No one died. So
I mean, someone got close.
yeah,
Someone
well,
else got struck to death.
I'm
Little
really annoyed that Jacopo didn't hit anyone with his crossbow. He deals 7 damage with his crossbow on every hit.
Wow.
Yeah. Well, I mean, the knight would have been fine because he.
Actually, sorry, he did hit you once with the crossbow. I just realized.
Yeah, it hurt.
Yeah, it hurt. Ah, well, maybe he had better luck next time in his another life. Anyway, thank you guys for watching. This was the second day of 7 days, 7 games. Tomorrow we are playing Zweihander, a dark fantasy role-playing game. It's kind of like Symbaroum in some ways, but in other ways very, very different. The 100 system, it is like Symbaroum, very heavily inspired by Warhammer Fantasy Role-Playing 2nd edition. The adventure we are playing tomorrow is called Dance of the Dead, and it will have our heroes descend into a necropolis to, well, steal a body. There's no other way to put it. So tune in tomorrow at 8 p.m. Central European Standard Time if you wish to watch Zweihander, and we will see how it goes. And for now, Climax Game says thank you to the players. I hope you had fun. Thank you for everyone who watched this. And if you want to see more Symbaroum, check out our Symbaroum playlist. We did a lot of one-shots and a campaign, and I think they were all, if I can say so myself, quite entertaining for me to run anyway. Until we see each other again, good night and bye-bye.
Bye.